Hey YouTube, hey everybody. This is Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine. It's like 10 o'clock a.m. on March 17th, 2021. This is my grandpa's jacket. This is my mom's dad's jacket. It's like all leather that I got from his house. And this morning it was so bad. You know, last night I was like, I'm just gonna take a little nap. I'm not going to put my grounding on. I'm not going to put Dave Case CD on or my lead cap. And I'm just going to take a little nap. And I woke up this morning with my spine hurting so bad, the ring in my ear so bad. I still had the noise canceling hearing aids in, but sleeping a whole night like that, it's like, man, my body's so chewed up. So I'm a little bit shaky this morning. Welcome into the chat if you are in the chat. I know it's kind of a weird time for me to do a video, but I got to do stuff like later today and tonight. So I wanted to go through some important information that was sent to me about the State Department picking basically the lead in tackling the Cuban embassy attacks and getting the embassy workers like medical treatment and stuff like that. And I also want to talk about ideas and how we can wedge ourselves in there so we can maybe get medical treatment. I think the deal is, and welcome to the chat, welcome to the live stream if you're in here. I think the deal is this is going to come out, like what's happening to us is going to come out no matter what we do, but we can speed it up. You know, we can speed up getting help and people knowing that, you know, citizens like us are being microwaved to death. It's crazy for me. Like I walked out this morning to walk Pepper. There was like 5 different gang stalkers. Like, so I don't know what's changed, but I'm getting gang stalked a lot more. Is anybody in here? Does anybody want to say hello so I can put y'all stuff up on the screen? If not, I'll just go to the article. I'll go to the article and start reading. Maybe I'll wait a second. Let me get my tablet open up. I'm feeling pretty rough this morning, but I wanted to, DePlume sent me, she's been sending me just a ton of really important information about the stuff coming up, the investigations coming up. And I think a good idea would be to, you know, learn about these people that are being put as the head of figuring this stuff out, and then we just start sending in testimonies to their offices. Hey John, and hey Lori. John says hi Kyle, and Lori Smith says they know their time is short. I'm putting that up on the screen. They know their time is short, so I want to talk about that today, about what they're doing in these investigations and calling it Havana syndrome and everything. Like, what is this? Like, let me show you. Let's go through the article, and I'll come back into chat. I'll have my tablet open, so if anybody comes into chat, I can read y'all's comments. But let's go ahead and get to the article, and then we can kind of talk afterwards when people start coming in. But you know, thank you to DePlume. Thank DePlume for sending me a lot of important information on these things that are going to directly affect us. And I think they could directly affect us a lot better if, you know, if we just bombard these people who are being picked, we just bombard their office with letters and testimonies, and then we'll know, right? Like, because we've said this, then we'll know that they have all the information. That it's not like, oh, they just didn't know about us, right? And so they're just talking about the Cuban embassy attack. We'll know. John says it ramped up to the max here too, V2K and frequencies. Yeah, my V2K is kind of just like, it's just driving me nuts. But the worst of it, like, and like my whole down my spine, it was like a fibromyalgia feeling around the muscles in my back, like on the insides. And then like my head was not, it was like stingy, right, and pressure inside the head. And like I woke up and I was doing this. I bet you a lot of you targeted individuals kind of know what I'm talking about. I was going because there's so much strain on the inside of my body from the remote neural manipulation, and it feels like it's like squeezing your insides. It's like it feels like your body just can't take it. And like I got up and like I was trying to get up out of bed, and I was like going, like trying to, I don't know, trying to alleviate the pain, right? And I realized that, you know, it didn't feel like mind control last night. I was like, well, I'm just going to take a nap. I'm not going to put on my defenses. But that's the thing, at the point in my targeting, a lot of the subtle things they do, it's like they're not trying to get me to go out and do anything violent in that intense, non-subtle way. They're doing these subtle things where it's like, oh, I'm going to go take a nap without my defenses, and I'm just going to make sure I don't go to sleep for the night, right? And it feels like it doesn't feel like mind control at all. And that's one way that my attackers mind control me to really mess me up, because they know the defenses really help. We're going to talk about that after I go through this article, and we're going to go through the information on who they picked. Like, we're going to go through her history of what she's done and where she's been, right? And then we need to be contacting her. You know, I'm sure a lot of targeted individuals are already on this and they're contacting her, but we're going to go through this. Let me open up my tablet first. But basically, this is from CNN. Since it's from CNN, we should know that there is an agenda with this, right? There's an agenda they know it's coming out, but they got to control how it comes out, right? And they're going to use the mainstream media to make sure that they're talking about it right. Talking about it right means saying Havana syndrome every time. And I talked about this. If they call it the Havana syndrome, then people just relegate it to Havana, even though it's happening globally. So I got a lot of important information this morning, guys. We're going to take it. So I know I'm wearing weird clothes this morning, but I had to put on this leather jacket. It's this leather jacket. It's like my mom's dad. It's my mom's dad, and this is probably from like 1970. It's like a real 1970s leather jacket. And just bear with, I'm doing really bad. If I was staying on my defenses and my cleansing, I'd be doing a lot better. The probiotics are really helping. I want to reiterate Dr. Ohhira's probiotics. Just make me feel a lot sturdier, but my attackers are kind of switching things up. Let me get my tablet open so I can say hello to whoever's coming in. I want it to do some work this morning. I mean, activism is work, right? We got to stay on. We got to wedge and interject ourselves into this topic that has everything to do with us. And it's like, I do feel bad about the embassy workers and the CIA agents being hit by remote microwaves, but they're getting attention. Like, they're getting attention. They're getting medical read. They're getting things to alleviate the pain of probably their consistent targeting. Because probably the targeting, like, say that guy in the CIA who got hit in Moscow, and that was probably Russian intelligence doing it to him. He comes back here, Russian intelligence is still hitting him. Russian intelligence is still doing remote neural monitoring on him, but they're talking about it wrong. It seems like maybe he doesn't even, it seems like he would have looked up things about it, right? So maybe he's just talking about it in a certain way when he's interviewed, you know. Let me open up my YouTube page, guys. This is no fun. Like when I wake up, my brain just feels like blanked out. So it's like that's a very dangerous thing. Like over the years, they're trying to do all this subliminal stuff to your brain, and that's like feeding in with the remote neural manipulation. So I found one thing that maybe you guys, like, y'all have heard me talk about, but you're like, that's kind of just a little silly dilly thing. Getting those positive affirmation things on YouTube and like mixing it with Schumann resonance, that's going to be really important, because you're doing those positive affirmations, it can kind of combat any kind of subliminal, like any kind of audible brain conditioning, psychic driving, but also any kind of subliminal stuff that your brain can't hear, that your attackers are getting in there with frequencies, right? If we're doing like above board conscious positive affirmations, it's going to be combating a lot of the negative stuff that they're putting directly into your brain. I know a lot of people, some people have been texting me and just like saying, your defenses, what defenses work the best, because I'm getting really hurt. So after this, we may just go like the main core of my defenses. But I do have a playlist, guys, so remember that. I can pretty much, I can sum it up pretty quick, like the core stuff that I use. Okay, guys, I just want to get my chat. Hey, Arachno Nixon. Yeah, my mom's dad's jacket. How are you doing, brother? Do you have a comfortable place to stay? Did you get that all worked out? Lori Smith says, the train pulls up and hits me with directed energy. Yesterday I was saying die. Yeah, they're MNFers copyrighted. John said, someone on the last live asked for a vid on the Chinese lady with V2K. I put a link when live had finished and promptly got a strike. Like a copyright strike? A vid on a Chinese lady with V2K. I put a link when live had finished and promptly got a strike. I don't know who you would have gotten you got a strike on your channel for putting a link in my live stream? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. A lot of people tell me, like, a lot of people come on here and they're like, I'm banned from your channel. People come in and they're like, I got in trouble for putting a link, and I don't know about any of that stuff. Like, cause I'm doing a channel here. I mean, I get attacked in certain ways, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, magnets really work, Lynn. Oh no, Arachno Nixon. Well, let's read this information. Maybe things can change a little bit. I just have a feeling we need to hang in there, find some place you can stay, get as many defenses as you can to kind of buy time, because there's some pretty big stuff going on. We might be able to get help soon. We might be. I can't guarantee any of that. Yeah, that's true. Lori says, don't give up, Arachno. It's darkest before the light. Always darkest before the dawn. Can't believe we can't find somebody that would let you just stay with them. You know, who had an extra room, like another targeted individual. Maybe we'll just do that tomorrow, the next day. I'll just come on a live stream and we'll just kind of talk about that. Like, what are our resources for when we can't find a place to stay? We need to do that. But people are sending me really important information about huge things that could change our situation. So this is from CNN. CNN's reporting this. State Department named senior official to lead response to mysterious Havana syndrome attacks. Remote microwave attacks, they're happening all over the world. Every country's military-industrial complex is experimenting with these things and torturing their citizens with them. It is not relegated to Havana in any way. That name is not only a misnomer, it's a purposeful misnomer. That is purposeful. That's Havana syndrome is a direct, if you want to see what propaganda is, Havana syndrome is propaganda. It's control propaganda. It's like this stuff that people are going to know about remote microwave attacks. We've got to relegate it in their mind, right? Because it's mind control on many different levels. If we call it Havana syndrome, then it's right. But this is a really important article. I'm a little bit like, I mean, because it looks like the Biden administration, it appears as if the Biden administration is really going after this, and the Trump administration was really trying to kind of sidestep it and not really investigate it or look into it. So it really changes how I view Trump. You know, he wanted to be number one in 5G, and then the Biden administration, which is doing all this surface stuff that's horrible, they're actually, going into an investigation on this. So I'm like, ooh, that's really good for us. I like the Biden administration for that. Arachno Nixon, dude, you're never out of options. You're never out of options. I promise you. I felt out of options so many times. Arachno Nixon, I've been in, Lori. That's nice and all, but out of options. There's always options, man. John says they did strike me. I have the email, a wrench on here. So you're saying a moderator of mine asked for a vid like 1 hour after I mirrored it. Fact. I don't think you can get a strike on your channel for putting a link in a live stream. I don't think that's possible. Like, I don't even think that's possible. And I put up so much information like directly on my videos, like, and I've gotten copyright strikes. That I've never gotten copyright strikes for targeting. Like, I've never gotten any kind of I've never even gotten a terms of service strike if my videos are completely about like the Cuban embassy attack, targeting, V2K, Myron May, all this stuff. They don't touch my channel like my attackers do. My attackers screw with me if I'm putting out information on targeting. Get strikes for, I'll tell you exactly what I get strikes for. I've gotten a lot of strikes for talking about the jab, and talking about the pandemic and making videos specifically for those things. That's where you're going to get a bunch of strikes. But I don't understand, because I put out so much information on targeting and they're not censoring that kind of stuff right now. They don't care about it enough. They're not worried about the targeting talk as much. They should be. I think it's a mistake, but I've never gotten any kind of strike for talking about targeting. I guess you could talk about it in a certain way, but I don't see a link with an Asian lady with V2K. I don't understand how you get a strike. It's St. Patty's Day? Dennis says, hi Vulcan, happy St. Patty's Day. Where's my green? I gotta wear green. I got these little applesauce things, and the top is green, so I'm gonna like put it right here. I'll put it right there. So I got a little bit of green on today. You can't pinch me. Can't pinch me. I'll hide the green. Yeah, Rachnonik says, John, maybe YouTube didn't want you sharing the vid. I don't know. I just don't think that happens. Like, I'm not saying I don't believe you, John, that you got a strike on your channel, but maybe it was from something else, because like putting a link in a chat, I don't see how you can get a strike on your channel for that. Hey, Ann says, so people feeling and seeing physical stuff now? I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Like, you mean like seeing the streams of energy? I'm getting completely tortured. If I could see my nervous system, it would probably be like on fire. It'd just be heated up. I seem to be having a lot of stuff like from chat, like people are like, oh, I got a strike, or I got banned from your chat, or like this and that. I don't do anything in there. Like, I have mods that kind of like watch everything, but they don't like just ban people. They're not ban happy. Yeah, Beery Sun says you get a strike from the community who are gang stalking. I was gang stalked so heavy. Hey, Nicholas, good morning, man. You rock too, brother. We're getting close. We're getting close. Let me go through this important information. Good morning, Celine 007. Celine 007 says, "Hey everyone, hey Kyle. Thank you, Andrew. Yes, my grandpappy's jacket from like 1970. And when I put it on, because my spine was hurting, like what I was telling people when they got in here, it was like I woke up and I was going, because it hurt so bad, like down my core, like the core of my body and my head. But then I put this leather jacket on, it kind of reduced it, and I don't think it's because they're using remote neural manipulation, but they do this crap with electromagnetic fields around the head and around the ears and around certain parts of the body. They also do bidirectional streams of energy coming through those electromagnetic fields. So if you put on leather, it interferes with any kind of field created around your body. If you use like that lead cap, it's going to interfere with any kind of fields they're trying to put around your head. So we got to be thinking, we got to external beams, bidirectional streams of energy towards the head, but they're always making these electromagnetic fields around certain parts of the body, and especially around the head and the neck and the jaw and stuff like that. And if you wear leather, it can cut into it, it can interfere with it. Maybe Arachno Nixon, maybe that's the answer for now. Would be you have a storage space, get everything into storage, and then I don't know the legalities of this, but set up a little bed in your storage. It may be safer because in that storage facility everything's kind of metal, like metal boxes, and it could actually protect you. That sucks, man. I wish you had a place to stay. We can find something. Like, we can find a targeted individual that will let you stay with them. It's not even a question. There will be a targeted individual out there in Michigan that's like, of course, somebody's being targeted, and of course. Like, there's so many targeted individuals like that. There's no reason why we can't find, and it doesn't have to be uncomfortable. I think maybe I would be, there's some target individuals and I would be uncomfortable like living with somebody I didn't know, but there's some situations where you can just like really get to know the person, chat back and forth with them, and then it's like there's probably somebody where it's like they just have a room and y'all could, you could do your own thing as long as you follow their rules and stuff like that. So I don't, Dennis says, so is the stream we get to bitch about matter boxes and explain to humanity never put any kind of AI or neural laces, might never be able to pause this and get neural spam. This is it, man. Y'all say whatever y'all want. Yeah, Laurie says I heard Wayne was taken out. Yeah, Wayne Morris's channel was taken down, but he has a and this is the thing, guys. If you were subscribed to Wayne Morris's channel and he gets deleted, he has a second and third channel. If that happens, please, like, especially if you're a targeted individual, just if you subscribe to the channel, subscribe to like his second channel and his third channel. Do that for him because he got his channel deleted. From what I think, it's like, in what I've experienced is like YouTube's not clamping down on talk of like microwave attacks, targeted individuals, cyber torture. They just don't have the algorithms in place to do that. Now, a targeted individual, their personal team might do something just to delete their channel or something like that. But I guess I don't want to talk about Wayne's like personal situation on his channel. I don't know if he wants me to do that. But and I'll end it on this. My guess is that he was talking a lot about the pandemic and jabs and everything. He's making videos specifically for that, and that's like you're gonna get your channel deleted. Like, I mean, and it's good. We need to talk about that stuff. But what I did, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, right? Because we've got to just tell the truth. Other stuff that's going to be talked about out there. Nobody's talking about stuff in the way that we need to talk about targeting. So I can't afford to get this channel deleted. I'll talk about the jab. I'll talk about, especially the new types of liquids and gels that go past the blood-brain barrier, right? to target people worse. I just want to say this: my dad got the jab, my mom got the jab, my aunt got the jab, my grandma did not get the jab, but my mom seems to be okay. Me and her, I'm helping her out to hang out with my grandma and stuff like that. But my dad has not been back to Baton Rouge since he got the jab. Like, like he usually comes in every once in a while, and it's like he's been in Florida for like 2 weeks, and he's the kind of guy. Like my dad's the kind of guy that if he's hearing voices in his head from B2K, he's getting microwaved to death. He took the vaccine and that's making things worse for his targeting. He would say nothing and he would just kind of isolate and he would be like, I've got to get through this, right? He wouldn't even go to a doctor or anything. Well, I mean, I guess he would go to a doctor, because of his aneurysms and stuff like that. Hey Jeff, man, we gotta go. I gotta go over that information you sent me. We're gonna do that soon. Arachno Nixon says, I was emailed by several TIs offering me a place, but I can't get a hold of any now. I think my email is being hacked. It has happened before. Great. I gotta find some better ways, and we need to have just some live streams on resources and stuff because we're getting so close. We don't need TIs who are like have no options, like living on the street. So we need some things where it's just like I can do it on my channel as like you need a place to stay. We got this. If you need food, we've got these resources. Things, right? To some resources and things that TIs can use. So I got to get on that. No, no, it's fine, man. Like Jeff says, I keep rain checking on you, my brother. My bad, my target. I completely understand it, dude. I haven't this whole week. I haven't been able to really make a video. Even now, I'm like real shaky, and I know it's not gonna be it's not going to be a joke fest or a high energy fest, but we got to get the information out, Okay. Yeah, Dennis says, yeah, he dropped 3 now. It's Wayne Morris again in the algorithms. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of targeted individuals that were just talking about targeting, like Targeted Citizens channel got taken down. I think Tansy's channel was deleted, and I don't know. I don't know why, because it seems like with me, if I just talk about targeting, even this stuff, now if I show like a Dr. Phil episode or 2020, like what's 60 minutes or something copyrighted, then I'll get the video taken down, and I won't be able to make videos for like a month. So I've got to be careful about that. And then it's just an intuitive thing, and you see people. Like you see high impact vlogs and all he talks about is the pandemic and what's the other thing you can get strike for, and the jab, right? He'll make a lot of short videos, and his channels like get taken down all the time. They're going after everyone, right? So I was like, I gotta keep talking about the targeting, because nobody, we're the only ones talking about it. I don't know though, I know my channel's gotten plenty of strikes, but if you talk about it in a certain way, especially like if you're just bringing up articles, that's the safest way. If you want to make a channel and you don't want it to get taken down, just pull up articles. Pull up articles and just talk about the information. I think where people get their channels taken down, it's like they start talking about maybe the pandemic or the jab, just maybe their opinions or theories about it, right? Theories that could be right, but nonetheless, they're like, oh, that's dangerous information because that could be true, right? It's probably true in the main FF, and they want to get it taken down because they want the only information, especially with the jab and CV, they want the only information coming from mainstream media because there's so many angles of corruption and FF in that, right? So that's a big thing. Oh, Dennis said Michael Barton had an interview with Stephen Schellin. No, was it recently? Yeah, Gloria says, "Hi Kyle. It sounds like we need our own TI code language." Yeah, I don't. Gloria, I don't think so because like I said, with the targeting information or this, you're not gonna get your channel deleted. You're just not. Like I'm a targeted individual unless it's this that my attackers like shadow banned my channel. They got in there and then they basically did something to where it would be off limits to be taken down. Play games, but I doubt that. Like I seriously doubt that. I think it's that if you're talking about targeting and you're talking about remote microwaves, everybody still kind of considers that on the upper optics level, they consider that completely insane, right? And they're not. Most people don't even listen to it. But like I said, the jab and specific things, the lockdown, saying things about maybe the World Health Organization. I don't know. I'm creating. I think the main thing, Odyssey is really good. So if people like, if you're a person with a channel and you're having a lot of trouble and it keeps getting taken down, and you want to talk about the subjects where you're going to get taken down on YouTube, Odyssey, ODY. It's spelled weird. It's like odd. What is it? ODYSEE. Odyssey. I'm going over there. I'm gonna go over there. I think what we're gonna end up with me is like YouTube, Twitch, and Odyssey. But we're gonna have BitChute and DLive kind of just doing a couple of little things, and I'll maybe use them every once in a while. I think the best way to talk about this right now is not even calling it cyber torture, just calling it remote microwave attacks. People get that. Like I've said that a couple of times. Okay, so State Department names senior official to lead response to mysterious Havana syndrome attacks. So, and thank you to Plume. She sends me a bunch of awesome articles and links. It really helps me out. I've been just trying to keep my head together. I've been watching stupid stuff on YouTube like H3 versus Keemstar because it's just so mindless. Gets me away from actually having to think. So this is the guy that got hit in Moscow. So the U.S. State Department on Friday designated a senior official to lead the agency's response to the invisible attacks against diplomats and U.S. personnel that have left dozens suffering from debilitating symptoms known as the Havana syndrome. Ambassador to Uzbekistan. She was most recently the ambassador to Uzbekistan. Now, where have we heard Uzbekistan before? They had microwave attacks too, right? They weren't put into the mainstream media as much as Cuba or China or Moscow or Australia or anything, but Uzbekistan, was a place where there was remote microwave attacks. And the United States is saying that in all probability it's like Russian intelligence that was involved in the Uzbek and the Cuban embassy attacks. I'll talk about this after. I need to say it now because I might forget. That's very likely. It's very likely that Russian intelligence wasn't getting Cuban intelligence to target those embassy workers to find out really what they knew or what they were there for or anything. It's more likely that it was a geopolitical play. It's more likely that Russia wants the United States to have to admit that these weapons exist, and then maybe it'll come out that the United States is torturing and experimenting its citizens. So I think Russia's playing this game where it's like trying to do these attacks, but then it's like they're not going to probably report it in Russia, right? Because everything's pretty controlled over there in China. But the United States, like there's still some journalists that still have some integrity, and it seems like it's a play by Russia to maybe bring it out first in the United States. But I'm not sure. There's some complicated plays going on here. Okay, so Lean007 says Romola D recently featured a video on her channel featuring Robert Duncan. I feel like the conversations are redundant with no clear answers, but at least we can support one another. Yeah, but you know that's why I'm focusing on these things, Celine, because these are things that are moving us forward. This is us. They're talking about. They like, even if some of these people are like, oh, we've got a couple of people being hit by microwaves. The more that they investigate this, the more that this stays in the news, the more probability of they have to talk about us coming out, right? So we're not going. So I've been going through this overtly where I knew I was being hit with something since 2011. Trust me, guys. 2013, 2014, I started making videos. Now there is like hope of moving forward. Back then, it was like, I think the most hopeful thing that we had going on was like, you know, certain doctors that like Melinda Kidder and stuff, and private investigators, like individuals maybe being able to pick up frequencies for us, or like come to our homes and do a private investigating thing. That was the only hope. These small things that could maybe help us individually. And it's like, oh, that's going to, but this is for real. Like the UN and the United States, the investigations they're going to do, this is for real. These big organizations that we need to just talk about it. Even if if some of it's controlled or whatever, it doesn't matter, because what I care about is when I'm talking to that random person on the street that is not targeted and is not a gang stalker, can I say something about this to them? And they would be like, yeah, I heard about that. When it's like that, when it's common knowledge about some of this stuff, then we can do anything. We can get out of this. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Nicholas says the Russians invented the Leda machine, which uses radio frequencies to manipulate the brain, originally used as a medical device to calm schizophrenics. It was given to the CIA for MK Ultra. Okay. Didn't know that. I'm just not sure what you're talking about, John. I'll read what you said. John says, fact, mirrored a vid 1 hour later. Okay, so he mirrored a vid. Okay, on his channel. I gotta look at your channel. It's gonna be hard to find because your name's just John. You gotta put something, like if you guys want to make channels that people can find, you can't just do like a name that everybody else has. John targeted individual, or John cyber torture survivor, or something like that, because I'll never be able to find your channel because you can't just click on the thing anymore. But you're saying a vid, mirrored a vid 1 hour later. Ahmad asked about it, posted the vid after the live, and it was struck. If folk don't find that unusual, what can I say? Shoot the messenger, I'm gone. I don't even know what you're talking about, John. I'm a little bit suspicious of some of this stuff where people are coming in the chat and they're like, hey man, I put something in your chat and then my channel went down, and like, I don't know about any of this stuff. And I have a big channel, like a smaller target individual channel, talking about this stuff. I deal with stuff from my attackers, but like pretty much if you're talking about V2K or targeting, you're not going to get these huge strikes against it. They're not. It's important information, and they don't want it to get out. But if they start having a rule, like they tell people at Google and YouTube, you need to have an algorithm, and you need to wipe out any channels talking about targeting. It's going to spread quicker. If they act like they're worried about it, right? Then it's gonna have a Streisand effect. They know it, like they know that. And they don't want it to have a Streisand effect. They're gonna start doing it. Maybe they have started doing it, and that's why TIs are getting their channels deleted. But I don't know about some of this stuff. People come in here and they're like, "Hey, you banned me from your," like, seriously. I'm focused on getting the information out. Like, I just trust my moderators, and my moderators know. I've told them not to ban anybody anymore. You know. Whatever. I don't know if you're mad at me or whatever, but I have no idea what's going on with that. this is what I want to do is get the information out, like any kind of like stuff that gets really confusing and like, oh, I think somebody is, I can't go to me too that's very questionable. We gotta just hit the one in the middle. Remember Rocky Four, guys? Whoever came and watched Rocky Four, he's like, man, I don't know what the trainer's name is. I need to learn the trainer's name. Can somebody tell me the black bald trainer's name? He's like the best. Like, he's not as good as Mickey, I don't think. I don't know. They're just, it's like two children you can't pick your favorite. Mickey, and then I know it's like George or something like that. No, it's not George. But he's awesome. And Rocky's like, I can't see straight. I'm seeing three of them. He says, hit the one in the middle. It's the best advice for us, man. Because with the psyops and the mind control and the, getting channels deleted and everything else, just go up the middle, right? You go up the middle, try and like kind of put the confusion to the side. Because I know we all get it. I mean, my mind's so confused on who's for real target, and there's tons of real target individuals that come to my channel and stuff like that, but you just like, what's what, but we just got to go up the middle. Yeah, Jeff. No. Oh, he does. You're right, Jeff. And the other guy's name is Tony. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much. Jeff says, Paulie says hit the one in the middle. Paulie's the one that's like, hit the one in the middle. And then Tony goes, yeah, hit the one in the middle. I think that movie has like some life lessons that I've used that are great. Okay, so Ambassador Pamela Spratland, a career Foreign Service officer, will serve as the senior advisor to the Health Incident Response Task Force, which was created in 2018 to coordinate the response to the spate of incidents. The spate of incidents. Can anybody define spate? Because that's a lie. It's not a spate of incidents. This is like global, millions of people being affected by direct microwaves to their head and their body. So it's not a spate of incidents. It's a huge global problem. You see, and this is the problem with our world right now in information and perception management, is that, they can come out in mainstream and just kind of try and mold people's minds. I think it's not working anymore. I think they've overstepped, and there's so many people in society in every country that are like, everything they put out, they question. Everybody questions everything the mainstream media puts out. Maybe there's a percentage maybe on the far left that doesn't, Okay, yeah, so Ragnar is saying, he's saying he mirrored a video on his channel that got taken down, and that's somehow the fault of mods on this channel. I think it doesn't make much sense. Yeah. I don't understand, but if you email me, John. No, I know you didn't get banned. I'm just saying, I get a lot of people coming in and saying I got banned. Like I don't know, they'll even be in the chat typing stuff out. They'll be in the chat saying I got banned from this channel, but they're writing stuff in the chat. So I don't know. Okay, spate of incidents, which is false, is just a flood of incidents all over the world that affected U.S. government employees in Cuba, Russia, and China, and left many with long-term brain injuries. Yeah, and I'm very afraid of that. I think a lot of mine is like remote neural manipulation, that if it was taken off, right, that things would kind of correct. But so many frequencies and microwaves to the brain for so many years, it's definitely affected my brain. It's definitely affected my brain energy metabolism. It's probably destroyed neurons, damaged the brain tissue, like along the edges of the brain, like right beneath the skull. So look out for Charlie. Got a strike on one. Yeah, if it's a lot of cuss words. Nicholas says, I think it's possible, as to look out for Charlie's work, that the noise riding on the air was picked up by the AI, and the stuff the V2K was saying was really hateful, and that got it flagged. I guess that could be a possibility. Yeah, look out for Charlie. He's been putting out a lot of really good info lately. Okay. So, okay. And affected U.S. government employees in Cuba, Russia, and China, and left many with long-term brain injury. In a shift from past report directly to the State Department's senior leadership, including Secretary of State Tony Blinken. In a statement to CNN, Blinken said, "We have no higher priority than the health and safety of our people," but listen to who he's talking about. "And Ambassador Spratlin will help us address this issue wherever it affects department personnel and their families." What about, okay, so department personnel and their families? What about here in Baton Rouge? And I'm getting microwaved to death. Wait, dude, and I'll say this factually. We're getting microwaved and tortured way worse than any embassy worker that I've seen. Any of those embassy workers, maybe now some of them are getting tortured harder, but like from what I saw on the news, we're getting tortured way worse. So why are, it's like, okay, well, if you work for the government, you're getting hit with microwaves, maybe we'll address this, because a lot of people who got hit in the Cuban embassy attacks, they were told to stay silent, right? And there was like 40 that they said that they admitted that it happened to, but it happened to way more people, right? And they hid that, and I think they even fired some people for speaking up about it, but they had the ones that it was okay, right? Because they got to say it's only this amount of people, and if more than that come forward, then it's like, no, you don't say anything, you shut up about the microwaves, you're mentally ill or something, we're going to have to dock your pay, get you out of here, right? For some of the State Department workers that were complaining about it, but they couldn't, no more, this can't be over like 40 people, right? So the way they're handling it is just very essy, very shitty. Yeah, Dennis says it must suck getting hit with this tech as a kid. I was in my late 30s when I got hit. I couldn't fathom being hit for life with this in my teens. Yeah, and I'm like, I know I was being hit with stuff in 2011, but I had like health issues, like issues with my vagus nerve, like all this stuff for like 10 years before. And things, it seems like I started staying up all night and weird stuff was happening, after I went to Ochsner and got treated for Crohn's disease, had a lot of colonoscopies, had I think a surgery on a fistula, so weird stuff started happening after that, but not painful, but just my habits as a child, and I was like 12. I was like from 12 on, and then a lot of pain in my shoulder, head, and everything started when I was about 20, and I had gone off to college. I don't know. I'd have to think about the details. What I'm going to do, I'm about to fill out that. I'm going to fill out that questionnaire to the UN. I think what I'm going to do, instead of doing a live stream where I fill it out, right? So you guys can get some ideas, and it can kind of jumpstart my mind on like how it all happened, right? I'm able to think a little bit better, from that infection being gone. And guys, these probiotics really are helping. I'm gonna take one right now. It's like this little gel cap with probiotics, and my grandma's stomach pain is gone. I'm a dude. I was a champion in that, dude. They finally listened to me because none of the stuff the doctors and nurses were doing was working. And just a little bit of a probiotic powder for like my grandma's stomach just hurting so bad, it's corrected it. I gotta check on her today and see if it still is. It's just little gel caps. I'm trying not to take too much, right? I don't want to like flood my digestive system with probiotics. But it's really making me feel sturdy. It's making me feel sturdier. Especially mood. The memory stuff's still real bad. The pain stuff's still real bad, but my mood about it is a lot better. And I'll show you guys something later. We need to get through this article. Okay, so Jeff says, Kyle, that leak document. Kyle, that leaked document from the Fusion Center that I showed you is legit. I met with the chief of police in my city yesterday, and he specifically said he had seen it multiple times. He questioned. Okay, he questioned me on how I got it. Okay, why don't we do this, Jeff? My next live stream, I'll do a live stream maybe tomorrow or the next day, and all the information you gave me, I'll go through it, and like if you want to just, maybe you can just come in and chat and talk about it, actually, put yourself on camera or anything. The thing that I think would really help us, because like on my channel, a huge percentage of y'all, because my targeting's so bad, right? I'm talking about the mind controls being so bad. So I think a lot of my viewers are targeted individuals that are getting the whole enchilada. Some of them maybe not, but I think a big percentage are targeted individuals that, man, it's hard for them to like, it's hard for everybody to get up here. But I think what would really help is the phone. If I could find the free internet phone, I would do that all the time. We could have live streams. I'd feel very comfortable with that. Have live streams go through information. I think y'all would feel more comfortable with that. We could get more targeted individuals that really don't want to come on a panel and get on camera because they're hurting so bad, but just get on the phone for like 15 minutes with me, do a call in, right? And you can say what's going on with you, but you don't have to get up there for a couple of hours if you're feeling bad, right? That's what I really wanted. I really think that would work way better than panels. We need channels doing panels, right? We need targeted individual channels doing panels. And if you want to do that, like you're a man or a woman, a target individual, and you really want to take a crack at that, what we need to do, you talk to me, because we need to build your channel up. Like if you build a channel talking to anybody about it or promoting it, people aren't going to be able to find it. So if anybody does want to do that, like you want to do panels, like you're like, man, I want to do this, I want to kind of talk about it, then you can talk to me, and then you can come on. We can do like you can come on and do an interview and say like, I'm going to start panels. This is my channel. We'll start and it's like maybe every video mention it, right? I would do that because I would do that for people that want to start panel channels or just their own channel, but they want to do like live streams and stuff like that. I will support you. I will. We can get other channels to promote you, just so you can like build up to a good number, right? Because I really don't want to do panels anymore. Because like God's putting in my heart, put out information. Get this information out, get this important information out. And then people are sending me really important information out about like stuff that's super important to us, right? But I think that the targeted individuals still need to be able to talk this stuff out, right? And there's conference calls for that. Maybe there are some very popular targeted individual panel channels, but I just don't know about them. But I'm just saying, like, we could build you one. Like, if you come to me, you're a targeted individual, and you're like, I want to have a live stream where targeted individuals can just talk about what's going on with them, that we need, will help you build it. Like, I will seriously help you build it. I'll promote it every. Microwave attacks on citizens on RT News Show this morning. The water was kind of pouring out, but now those holes are just getting huge, and now it's just like all this information is gushing out. This is great, and I think a lot more of y'all that where this is like taboo, you feel crazy talking about it, that's going to be changed, because this is the future, guys. You will be vindicated. Trust me, you'll be vindicated. This will all change. This is just being hidden, but they want everybody's brains kind of hooked up to their computers and all this crap. This is the future. People will know about this. The top of the pyramid will be on to like maybe quantum and stuff like that, but this will be part of everybody's life. You know, this is going to change. You will be vindicated. Nicholas, you would be great at it. You would be great at it. Nicholas says, if I can figure out the technical details, I would love to host panels to get targeted individual testimonies and other information out. My only difficulty is being a mobile studio. With StreamYard, I think you can. I think you could do it off your phone, Nicholas, and it's super easy. It's like you get StreamYard, you just get StreamYard, and it's like automatically connects to your YouTube. No, I think you have to connect it to your YouTube. I could run you through that. You'd be great for that. I know that some of you guys have made Discords. Like, I don't know how successful those are going to be. The Discords, right? I think anything's a good idea, and like but I think people really want like a channel that you'd be talking on, right? I think the Discords are good and people like talking there, but it's like it's kind of like always open and people are always talking there, and then they haven't seen. I don't know. You and Drunken Ninja would have to tell me, because you made a Discord and Drunken Ninja made a Discord, and y'all would have to tell me, are those still going on? Are they growing? Do y'all need me to promote them? Do y'all need me to put links every video? Because I will put, like, every video I do, I will say, hey, and check out Nicholas's Discord and Drunken Ninja's Discord. These are the links, right? I'll put them in my description, you know. If it's something that y'all want to do, that you want to build, right? And you're a smart, targeted individual that I know has great information, yeah. I mean, we can go through it. Maybe me and you, Nicholas, just one night, like not live, right? We just get on StreamYard, we don't broadcast it, and then we just go through. I just show you like every. I mean, I don't even really know StreamYard that well, but I just know how to like share information and stuff. Maybe we need to do a live stream on how to mirror videos, because it's simple. It's so simple. Screen capturing, like if you don't, like if you you know, have your webcam and then show articles and stuff, I have something called A Power Record. I forgot what it's called. A Power something, and I paid like $79 for a lifetime of this screen capturing thing where it will put me on web I want to show articles, right? And it's very simple. I think maybe people are a little bit I'm a little bit, but like OBS and how do I hook my video games up to my computer? I'm like, how do I do that? It seems daunting. It seems like a little bit, what's the word for it? It's really hot. What's the word? It seems intimidating, but then you start doing it and you find out how simple it is, you know. Like mirroring a video on YouTube using the what's it called? YouTube downloader thing is just so simple. It's so simple, and you know, you could be doing that. And I mean, I think a lot of the videos, like Autumn has a really successful channel, and I mean that's what she's like, finding very important videos on targeting and things that are so crucial. She's a great researcher, and then she's like mirroring them up on her channel and saying, hey, this is the original video or whatever. I think it's great, man. Yeah, Nicholas says, I like Discord. Are they building? Are y'all's Discords building? Hey, Steven, man. Okay, let's keep going with this. Okay, so she will streamline. So they want to protect the department personnel and their families. What about us? What about us and our families that are being hit by microwaves? I've had a lot of jobs too. I worked for Dream Day Foundation. I wrote grants for St. Jude. I didn't work for the government really. My brother works at a federal courthouse. Does that make me, since I'm related to my brother and he works at a federal courthouse, and can that carry over to me and I can get taken care of since I have some connection to a government worker? It's like this is straight up like what they want is to be like, if you're not working for the system, you're expendable. You know, that's the feeling I get from like everything there. Okay. Nicholas Hamlin says, why don't you put your link to your Discord, Nicholas? Did you put your link in? Put put it like in the like right when you get in, be like, hey, this is my Discord, and then somewhere in the middle, hey, I just want to remind you guys, this is the link to my Discord, and then like at the end, because people need to listen to you about frequencies. Like you're a genius when it comes to that, and they need to listen to some of that technical information. Okay, so she will streamline our coordination with our interagency partners and reaffirm our commitment to make certain that those affected receive the care and treatment they need. I need treatment. Like, I've got V2K right now. All these people in my chat are being hit by microwaves. Our heads, like our brains, have been injured from this stuff. We need medical treatment too. Why is this a twilight zone where they're hiding? I mean, they have to hide millions of people being experimented on and tortured, right? This is the freakiest thing that I've ever seen, where there's these incidents of remote microwave torture, and then there's a bunch of people all over the world that have been saying they've been hit by microwaves. Right when these things happen, everybody should have said, oh, those people were telling the truth. Why did that not happen? Because the logic goes with Cuban embassy attack, China consulate attack, Moscow, other countries are getting hit by microwaves, Indian soldiers being hit by microwaves, more microwave weapons and directed energy weapons being made by contractors. Then you have this whole bunch of people all over the world saying they are being hit by remote microwaves, their bodies are being heated up, their brains are being messed with. There's nothing on that road of logic that veers people off at all. There's nothing on there except their own cowardice and fear. The public's cowardice. We need to be nice, but there's nothing logically that stops somebody from understanding that a lot of people are being experimented on by microwaves. And you know, my mom, we've said this too, right? We've said this too. You know, you're going to hit some embassy workers and some maybe some CIA agents and stuff. Well, you don't start out with those people. You don't start out with operational attacks and operational remote neural monitoring. You hit citizens who don't have a lot of influence or money or resources or connections to politicians or connections to intelligence agencies. That's who you hit first, because they can't do much about it, right? We haven't been able, like, we do activism and stuff like that, but it's like this, I guess the CIA agent who got hit in Moscow, he's having interviews with CNN and all the main news stations, which is questionable at the least, which is questionable what he really went through. If he is just, like, this word can get your video taken off, but an actor who in a crisis would come, you know. I think he was really hit. I think it's just part of the narrative. Like, they want people to know that, like, state workers and governmental workers are being hit by this, but they don't want people to know that just normal citizens are. At this point, too, I say normal citizens, but at this point I'd say we are not normal citizens. I'd say we are soldiers. Like, we are, the system are the terrorists. They have become what they said that they would fight, and we are actual, like, soldiers, because we've had to live through this. No real go through this much daily pain and being attacked while they're asleep and fighting that with defenses and trying to make up whole new defenses and figure out whole new sciences. We're soldiers, guys. I know that's hard for some people. I don't want to be a soldier or anything like that, but we got to have that mindset. And I don't want to be sexist. I'm just going to say there's a lot of people who that's not what they were supposed to be in life, right? It's not what I was supposed to be. It's not what some people were supposed to be, and I think they have a lot of trouble with that. They just stop this torture. They just want the torture to stop. They want somebody to help them, because that's how the world has always been, right? And it's so painful. I try and get, You know, I hate saying that. We need to be soldiers, but we really, really do. To get through this pain, you have to soldier on. You have to find something, and find your faith. Use your imagination and your faith, and what some people would call delusion. Like, I don't even understand delusion. I mean, I guess there's delusion, but like, you gotta grandiose yourself out of situations. We are people being hit by microwaves. This stuff's going on. We want to be humble, right, and good people, but we gotta we're getting hit by this. We're human beings, and we deserve to live, and we don't deserve to be experimented on. And we are big, and our God is big, right? You see what happens when people are grandiose, right? Like Donald, they get a lot of attention, right? And that's what people are kind of been trained to listen to those type of people. I don't know what my point was, guys. Oh, Lori Smith says, I was just watching about the drywall being proof of the radiation. Does it do something when it comes through the drywall? Does it leave like marks in it? I saw Dr. Matthew Aaron talking about that. Yeah, guys, if y'all can help out Arachno Nixon, please, 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 please. Okay, and I'm really doing bad with the targeting, so it's hard to stay on track. Okay, so he said, I will work closely with her as this is a priority for me and the full department. She will streamline our coordination with our interagency partners and reaffirm our commitment to make certain that those affected receive the treatment and care they need. Okay, well, so he made a statement. This is, what's his name? We need Blinken. This is Blinken. This is Blinken right here. And he said, I will work, okay, she will streamline our coordination with our interagency partners and reaffirm our commitment to make certain that those affected receive the care and treatment they've made a promise. They made a promise. Blinken made a promise. Hey, Blinken. Hey, Blinken. No, I said my name's Blinken. Hey, Blinken. I said, hey, Blinken. Blinken just said this. He said he's going to make a commitment, reaffirm our commitment to make certain that those affected receive the care and treatment they need. I'm being affected. Targeted individuals in my chat are being affected. We would like medical treatment. Blinken said we could have it. Blinken, he is the, what is he? Is he the head of the Pentagon, or is he just the head of he's the head of the State Department? Okay. A senior State Department official told, we got to hold them accountable for the words they're saying, right? They're saying that they want to give medical care to families that have been affected by microwave torture. And we have families, and we are being affected by microwave torture. And we will hold them to that. When we write to them and we, interact with them, we will say, y'all promise that I can have medical care. A senior State Department official, I think a breakthrough. I don't know how many people Niels Melzer has that look like will examine a person, like examine Julian Assange and see the signs of torture, right? Because Julian Assange was being attacked by remote microwaves, being remote neural manipulated, remote neural monitored, hit with external microwave beams, and then he had so Niels Melzer had these specs, right, who can tell if you're being tortured, come in and give him the diagnosis that he was being tortured by remote. There are people that can look at that and say, yeah, this guy's not mentally ill, right? That's a change, because everybody's been saying, oh, well, we can't see the microwaves and stuff. That's completely changed now, right? Or it's in the process of change. Oh, is it like people are trying to help you, but like your attackers are maybe erasing their emails or stopping their calls or something, Arachno Nixon? Okay, a senior State Department official told CNN that Blinken has received several briefings on the Havana syndrome, which is the worst name for it ever, It's happening globally. Anybody who's watching this is not a targeted individual. It's not relegated to Cuba. It's happening everywhere. It should not be called the Havana Syndrome. That is straight up propaganda. It is integrated directed energy weapon system torture. It's directed energy weapon torture that's happening to so many people. Just to simplify it, including while he was secretary designate. This official said that it was important that Spratlin have direct and regular access to the top U.S. diplomat and his team because this is a challenge that goes beyond any single country at the moment. Okay, so he knows. This is a challenge that goes beyond any single country at the moment, and we want to make sure that we have a full accounting of those who may be affected by this. Well, you're going to have it, buddy. You're going to have it. A senior State Department official told CNN that Blinken has received several briefings on the Havana Syndrome. We want to make sure that we have a full accounting of those who may be affected by this. We're going to give them a full accounting. And I'll tell you the person that we need to be sending to, just testimonies, letters. I mean, I think we could just do letters and not like have to do a full like questionnaire of everything we've gone through, but just a simplified one-page letter to her office, right? This lady, Spratlin. So Spratlin says that will be a key task of Ambassador Spratlin and the task force, the official said. And it's interesting that she was an ambassador to Uzbekistan up until now, because a lot of the microwave, like some of the remote microwave attacks were in Uzbekistan, and they think that it was Russian intelligence that was doing it. Some of the victims have criticized the U.S. government response to the incidents, which affected U.S. diplomats. CIA officers and other U.S. government personnel posted abroad. Personnel in Cuba in late 2016 began experiencing unexplained symptoms such as dizziness and pounding headaches, sometimes accompanied by an unidentified piercing directional noise. The attacks eventually led to a dramatic drawdown on staff at the outpost in Havana under the Trump administration. Personnel in Russia and China reported similar unexplained incidents, and Uzbekistan, Australia, where was it? Where's the other place? It was like Thailand or something like that. It wasn't Thailand. It was another Asian country. Taiwan. So many places. Cuba, China, Uzbekistan, Poland, everywhere. And I guarantee y'all, and I've said this before, I guarantee that in China there are articles being put out, and they're probably telling their people, right? They're saying the United States is attacking Chinese citizens, right? But we don't get those articles here. If somebody could do that, if somebody has like some expertise on getting foreign like news articles and stuff like that, try and get some news articles from Russia and China about this subject. And I guarantee you they're saying that the United States is doing all this stuff, right? So finger pointing's going on. Because it's so big. Like, they're torturing, experimenting on so many people. There's no way. There's no way that it's not coming out. They're trying to control it, but it won't. Hey, Jennifer. Jennifer says they will never admit it was neurotech reading their minds. Who, though? Hey, eyes watching Warfare Zombie. Kyle, the left will eat itself. This is why they go after Cuomo, because he knows too much, Yeah, I think he said something. Cuomo said something and messed up. He said I was told to do that. Like with the nursing homes, he said that he was told by somebody higher up to do. I was just told to do that, right? And so that was a no-no, saying that he was just told to do that by people higher up, and that's why they're going after him, because they don't want it revealed that basically these governors and even the president, they're getting orders from a globalist group, right? From many globalist groups, but from a global oligarchy. Hey, Jeannie. Jeannie says, hi, Kyle. Delusional is a disorder characterized by one 1 month, previously called paranoid disorder psychosis. Yeah, I guess that's one definition of it. When I say, but like at the beginning I was saying delusional, I mean more like fantastical, believing in things like that. I think that like people with a lot of faith and like even in bad situations where like this is going to turn out okay, and it like other people would think they're delusional, right? Because it's such a big problem. We have to have a little bit of that. We have to have the David syndrome, right? David's giant. People would say that this is my point. People would look at David and say, "You're going to go fight that giant. You're delusional." Right? That's the type of delusion we need to have. And I guess you just don't call it delusion, you call it, faith. You call it great faith. You call it grandiose. And I'm not talking about like, I'm the best person in the world, grandiose like that, but thinking of yourself as big, that you can do big things, especially with God behind you, right? It's good to have you here, Jeannie. Jeannie says the person can't tell what is real and what is imagined, which are unshakable beliefs in something untrue. Yeah. But they're also calling targeted individuals delusional, but it's something that's unshakable because it is true, right? So none of us are really experiencing any kind of delusion. Jennifer, you said the fake investigation? Yeah, the CIA and the Pentagon are leading it up, and they're the ones that are doing this to us. So, but the thing is, it doesn't matter. It's a slow trickle, and they're trying to control the information, and people are going to start looking into it, right? You got to look at some of these angles. Normal people are going to start looking all up into this. They're going to start hearing what we're saying about it, right? And then normal people who aren't trying to lie, who are just trying to find the truth, which is a huge percentage of the world population, they're going to be able to find out more about this, and then it's going to, the millionth month. Jeannie, I don't know if persecutory delusional disorder even exists when you're talking about a targeted individual, because we're being more than persecuted, Okay, personnel in Cuban Lake began experiencing unexplained symptoms such as dizziness and pounding headaches, sometimes accompanied by an unidentified piercing directional noise. The attacks eventually led to a dramatic drawdown of staff at the outpost in Havana under the Trump administration. Personnel in Russia and China reported similar unexplained incidents. Recently declassified 2018 State Department Accountability Review Board report, 2018 State Department contained by the National Security Archive highlighted significant problems with the Trump administration's response to the Havana incidents, including a delayed response caused by excessive secrecy and serious deficiencies in the department's response in areas of accountability, interagency coordination, and communication at all levels in Washington and Havana. Well, we know why they want to keep it secret. I don't know why now it's like, I guess with Biden on board, I think we've talked about this. They feel more confident that they can control the narrative. I think they were worried about Trump, and if Trump had anything to do with any of that investigation, he may have let something really big slip, right? I think it may have had a little bit of something to do with that. That may have been one angle. The board finds the lack of a designated official at the undersecretary level to manage the response to be the single most significant deficiency in the department's response, the 2018 report noted, according to the National Security Archive. Lawmakers had also long urged the federal government to make the issue a priority. On Friday, several praised the Biden administration for naming Spratland to the senior role. This news is long overdue, and I thank Secretary Blinken for taking this decisive action in an effort to protect our foreign service officers diplomats, and public servants stationed overseas. We're gonna need it in citizens all around the world put into that. Like this is just about to break right here, because they're like, oh, it's happening to all these people that work for the government. Well, why wouldn't it be happening to people who don't work for the government, who have said that it's been happening to them way long before the mainstream media even started talking about the Cuban embassy attack? People said they were being heated up with microwaves. People got to logically ask themselves how that's mental illness. They can't just say, oh, well, you don't work for the government and you're being hit with microwaves, so we want to just say that's mental illness. They can't do that anymore. They cannot do that. They will have knowledge that this is true. Less people will be able to do that. The most sociopathic ones still will be able to. So tweeted Democratic Representative Abigail Spanberger. So Democratic Representative Abigail Spanberger, a former CIA officer. Looks like it's a controlled release, There's so many lies, so many lies. When you got the same people who are like the brains, like the same intelligence agencies that are the brains of like all this experimentation in the United States, and then other countries have those same kind of organizations, and then they come in, why would you assign the pin? It's so bad. Okay, so Nicholas says, I don't think the public can be told the whole story at once. They would freak out and collapse in convulsions, I believe. I believe that the information is going to be brought out slowly so that they can digest. Yeah, me too, Nicholas. But what I'm thinking is we've got to kind of get on it, and we've got to be like pushing these organizations, right, so that it can quicken it. Because we've got a lot of people who are being tortured, and it needs to stop. And I think it's going to change it up, right? We can speed it up to where it's like, okay, well, more people are knowing about this. We got to go ahead and speed up the release of this information. Hey, M. Tanner Kramer says, Cheryl Lewis asked me to tell you hello, Kyle. Says she is still being blocked from commenting on the live stream. Okay, she can't just make a new. I don't know how she got banned from my stream, but she could just make a new, just make a little new channel and then just come in. If she wants to do that. We're going to do this every live stream, huh? It's going to be every live stream. Let's see. Okay, so Senator Jeanne Shaheen said in a statement that she was very encouraged to see the Biden administration step up where the Trump administration failed or refused to do so, which directly impacted the health and wellness of those targeted by these attacks. Senator Jeanne Shaheen, she's another one. Remember that name. So many people up in the State Department and senators knowing about remote microwave attacks, looking into remote microwave attacks, definitely stumbling upon the testimonies of targeted individuals and what the UN is doing. Definitely, most definitely. So these investigations, they may be they are intended to probably cover up the global torture that's going on, but maybe it doesn't matter. People are still going to find out about it. They've shown their asses a lot with the pandemic, going too far with things, and I think they're going to do that with this one, because we've got to remember, psychopaths, they're really confident. They're really confident about people being stupid, right? They think everybody's stupid, right? And there are some very smart people in this world. There's some very smart people up in these agencies that are not corrupt, and I don't think their plan's going to just work to hide a complete global torture program. It's that's in every country. I don't think just their egotism and their sociopathy will be able to do that. Will be able to hide it. So Senator Jeanne Shaheen said in a statement that she was very encouraged to see the Biden administration step up where the Trump administration failed or refused to do so, which directly impacted the health and wellness of those targeted by these attacks. And I kind of wish Trump would have taken it on, because he would have said something. He would have let the whole thing out. That's probably why they didn't let him do it. So I'm glad to see the Biden administration make this a top priority. It's amazing. This is a good thing for us. So I got to give it to the Biden administration. I know that this is the deal. Biden's not going to do anything the military-industrial complex doesn't want him to do, right? So the military-industrial complex wants this to come out in a certain way and wants to be able to control the narrative and create organizations to control the narrative on this. That's what they're going to be. They're going to be, oh, well, the CIA and the Pentagon are involved. They're the leadership of bringing this stuff out, of investigating it. They can pick the other people who are going to be looking into it, right? Like that lady in the State Department who probably is like all the way CIA, or something like that, in an organization where she's going to follow orders and she's going to only tell what the Pentagon and the CIA want her to say about it, right? She's not going to go any further than that. During a House Foreign Affairs Committee hearing Wednesday, he was deeply committed to a whole of government approach to address the attacks. I think what I'm going to do after this, I'm going to see anybody. How do you go into? Is there a thing on your YouTube channel where it shows anybody who has been banned from your channel, like a list of them or something? Is there? I think once you're banned, are you just banned from a channel? Does anybody know that? Because if that's the case, guys, if once you're banned from my channel, I can't unban it or anything like that, then you need to just make another little small. Yeah, Nicholas says this evil needs to stop. Hey, Gumby, for Rachno, top of the morning, happy St. Patty's Day, and I got my green. I got my green right here. I got this. You can't see it, so if you pinch me, I get to punch you in the face. Is that the rule? If you pinch me and I have green on, I get to like deck you, right? No, it's you get to pinch him back. I get to pinch you like twice. Yeah, Laurie Smith says they all own stock military-industrial complex. Now, I mean, Joe, it's way more than that. It's for Joe Biden, it's way more than he just like has some money involved in it, and so it's by the military-industrial complex. They give him his orders. Like the military-industrial complex pulls the strings and pull his strings too. So they're doing it exactly what the military-industrial complex wants. Donald Trump was different. Yeah, Dennis says they need to pull the plug on all AI, B2K, and directed attack. This is government. And it's not really government. And I'm sure they don't want the entire public to know of their treason on American soil. I guess it is government because government's giving them money. Like, government's giving them money, Congress is giving them money, the Department of State is involved, and the FBI is involved in it, and then the organizations. I would say it's like hidden from most of these intelligence organizations. They have compartmentalized groups within them that do this kind of work, tier clearance, right? So I see it as like the military-industrial complex. Basically, the military is a corporation now. And so they want to grow their business, and their business is killing people. Their business is dominating people. And so since it's a business now, it doesn't matter. It's like, so you got the Pentagon and the CIA and all these intelligence organizations, and they've done all these wars in the Middle East and everything, for Israel. And so then they're like, well, we need to make money with war. We need enemies, right? And they're like, well, okay, domestic terrorism. We can attack our own citizens. We can surveil our own citizens. And it'll just keep going on. They don't care who they attack. They just need to make up some excuse because war has always been business. Now it's like the military is really a corporation. And they want to grow. And they need enemies for that. They need enemies to microwave, to surveil, and everything. They don't care if it's just their own citizens. And this is happening in other countries too. And what I think, I guess I won't. Just a quick thing. I think the top of the pyramid really wants a giant satanic ritual going on all the time, in people killing each other and stuff. They want that all the time because they want people dead and they want people confused and they want divide and conquer, right? Um, you know, so. Hey, MM says, Arachno Nixon, when you have time after the live, you should really check out the link I left in my last vid. I remember you mentioned going off grid in the forest, but there is some information about a forest area you should know. Okay. That's cool. I think that's probably the best thing to get to somewhere where there's no microwave towers and stuff. You may still be hit, you may still get the V2K and stuff like that, but it would be very, very reduced. And then if you can use like a lot of the defenses, you could maybe get it to where it's down to like 5%, maybe in an area like that. The only problem I see is the over the horizon radar. The over the horizon radar can go thousands, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of miles. And who knows where they have all the installations of radars everywhere, because they've been building this infrastructure without the public's knowledge for just years and years. And I guarantee you, like after 9/11, they really started to build a lot more installations and like HARP installations with those are phased array antennas, and then more microwave towers, 5G definitely. Well, that's now, but back then they were probably putting in more radar dishes everywhere next to military bases or next to underground military bases, right? Deep underground bases are no longer a fantastical thing, right? So we see that these things that have been said for a long time, that they used to, like, people used to talk about deep underground military bases, and people are like, oh yeah, where the reptilians live and stuff, like, and make fun of it, but then you find out it's true, right? And it's a pretty regular occurrence that conspiracy theorists with logic and information and evidence to back up their claims, they're always proven right. It's just this is what's happening. It's a stall, right? We all know that they're stalling. They can't keep this technology they can't keep the public from knowing about it. They're just stalling. They want more people to die. They want to be experimented on. They want more children to be experimented on and tortured. They want to stall so they can. And I was thinking about it. And my attackers like map my brain. I don't know, because I've got so many people on my ASN number, so I'm sure that my data is going somewhere. I was just thinking, like, we don't even know if the data from our brain is just like just saved in a server, right, and not even used. Like, it's just like we're murdered and they don't even really use that information they're getting off of us because there's just so many people who are being experimented on. So it's kind of just like, oh, we'll just keep that on file. We'll keep that brain mapping and like everything and all the remote neural monitoring and all the information we got from that human being, and we'll just stick it in a server. But I guess the AI, in real time, the AI in real time is they're mapping our brain, and the AI is learning how to think like a human, right? So they're getting that as they go along anyway. So I guess all of us, I guess it really does. We at least go into like our torture goes into making AI more human, like think more like a human, and that's like for people getting really bad remote neural manipulation and everything, and the automated systems are doing a bunch of stuff. You're teaching the AI how to think more like a brain, more like a human brain thinks, right? It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous, and it's like North America is going down, Jeannie. I don't want North America to go down. But the deal is, every country's being run like this. I hope North America doesn't go down. Probably will, though. Target individual says, dude, they have been torturing me and my family for over 9 years now. Anyway, I traveled from one continent to another, and the stalking and torture is still going on. Yeah, and Brian, too's been traveling from continent to continent. I've gone to Green Bank, West Virginia. I've gone to California. I've gone to Florida, and it was all the same. North America and their satanic beliefs are destroying the country. There's a lot of Christians in North America, Jeannie. There's a lot of Satanism everywhere too. I'm an American, man. I love the idea of America and the spirit of America. Like, I think all countries are corrupt now because they're under a globalist banner. So America's the biggest empire, I guess. But really, they're on a tight leash from Israel. So people shouldn't be like, oh, America's really, really evil. I guess that's the religious thing, right? That America is mystery Babylon. America is Babylon, right? But really, in reality, you have Israel that's been having us on a leash, and we go fight them. There's a small country, right? But they lobby and they have dual citizenship over here, and they kind of control a lot of the power in America, right? Israel kind of does that. So, and that's weird because people are like, oh, really people are God's chosen people, and they're like the most evil. Like Israel is very evil in its foreign policies. And I ain't saying Jays are evil, right? It's just philosophies are evil. So, if anybody hears like I'm anti-Semitic, yeah, don't believe that. Like I've dated like some of the loves of my life have been Jewish women. So Gummy Bear APB says, Kyle, this is not experimentation because the data is skewed and flawed. AI isn't going to spend its life like this. This is hell, and it's not to extract any viable data. It is experimentation, Gumby. It's a lot of other things, too. But, Jeannie, that's everywhere. You're saying, okay, Jeannie says, but don't you see North America is no longer what it used to be? Satanic people in the military and government, people are ruling. That's why they are doing this. But that's everywhere, Jeannie. That's in every Five Eye country where the leadership is psychopathic and satanic. And they all have strings in them from a global oligarchy, from Rothschilds, Rockefellers, like a bunch of other wealthy families. Basically, you can look at the group, and that's the people that are the movers and shakers of the world. Maybe we should do a live stream on that. I bet you that would get taken down. I'm glad to see during a House Foreign Affairs Committee hearing Wednesday, Blinken told lawmakers he was deeply committed to a whole of government approach to address the attacks. Blinken told lawmakers he was deeply committed to a whole of government approach to address the attacks. This is going to decompartmentalize everything. Like, I don't see how they can hide this. I know they're trying to control a narrative, but dude, if you got good FBI looking into this, never would say good CIA because I don't think there are any, but like good NSA maybe, good people in the military maybe, good people in the State Department looking into this. It'll decompartmentalize everything that these black projects are doing because these people might start digging into it. I think it's good no matter who's leading the investigation or what they're trying to do. It's still good for us, and we know that they're going to lie until the very end. That we're going to have to force them to tell the truth about this. We understood that, or I understood that before. Like this whole thing has been pulling teeth to try and get help for being murdered. Like you know what that does? You all know what that does to a person. When you have to pull teeth and it still doesn't work and you get in trouble because you're trying to get help for being asked. I mean, Jeannie's right. Jeannie's right that, I mean, all these countries have changed into satanic lands of just deceit and cynicism and nihilism, getting them away from God, and look what happens. Look at the destruction. When somebody doesn't believe in God or that somebody else is divine, they can do anything. They believe in nihilism. Oh, nothing matters. They can kill people because they don't think they matter. Like people need God. People need spirituality. People need Jesus Christ. They need these things so they see other people the right way and see themselves especially see themselves the right way so that they're able to see other people the right way. If somebody who doesn't think that they're valuable or doesn't believe that they have a spirit, and they've been bashed by this stuff, and they maybe don't love themselves, like, I'm not going to have good relationship. And I'm talking about myself, myself sometimes, dealing with this stuff, you know. Really, that's interesting. Laurie Smith says, I think God's seal is on our forehead, and that's why we are targeted. Jennifer says, if the public finds out about the technology, all the systems fail because they are based on free will. Now anyone. Wait, let me read that again. I didn't kind of understand. Okay, so like Dr. Duncan said, if the public finds out about the technology, all the systems fail because they are based on free will. No, now anyone can be influenced. Yeah. I don't. The world system is based on free will. It seems like the world system wants more and more control, and it wants to make you think that you're having free will, but they're really kind of controlling it, And I think God helps us to have more free will. We have more free will in America. So when the public finds out, the system would fall. Fourth turning, we need to do a live stream on that. It's a planned collapse, and I think that what's happening to us and targeted individuals globally is a huge part in the global collapse. I think they want people to find out about this in a certain kind of way where people do really just lose faith in all government and all agencies and everything, and that's just kind of the plan, And it won't just be our situation with getting hit with microwaves. There will be many more situations where faith is lost in any kind of authorities, right? Because that's going to create more chaos and fear, and then the New World Order will say, oh man, all these individual governments have failed. They've been experimenting on their people. They failed. And a world order needs to come in and take care of the people, right? See, but not just with the microwave weapons, right? Not just with torture and experimentation, but with other things going on in countries. They'll say these presidents of these countries, they can no longer, they're experimenting on their people. They're corrupt, right? When the globalists actually had their strings in all these intelligence agencies making them do it, like this was all kind of tied into globalism. But then they'll turn on these countries and they'll say, oh man, these countries have been right. The UN will have an integral part in showing that all these countries have been torturing their own citizens. And at that point, the New World Order will step in and say, well, we need a world government. Look, all these countries are experimenting on their own. You see what I'm saying? But it won't just be that. And that's what I think I see coming, or I feel coming, or it's sent, or God's sending it to me, or whatever. But they're going to use this stuff to make people have less faith in their structures, in the in whatever structure, the authoritative structures. Andrew says, God the Father, He's high and lifted up, and it's easy for Him to comfortably rule this place whenever He releases His power. Yeah. Jeannie says, Target, wake up. We are the chosen ones. Mm-hmm. Yeah, who's watching the watchers, right? Andrew, no. There's just as my attackers are watching me and surveilling me, people are looking into their heads and watching what they're doing, and their managers are being surveilled too. This is a full spectrum domination even of themselves, right? Because they're being tricked by globalists. You have the military and they're like, full spectrum domination, we'll be the dominant things, but they have the puppet strings from globalists controlling them, so they're really making their own cages while they're murdering innocent civilians and torturing them. It's really amazing. Okay. Sources familiar with the ongoing investigations into the attacks out of the separate U.S. agencies, including the CIA, the FBI, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the State Department, say that a major impediment to their efficacy is the fact that they are largely siloed efforts. Yeah. Siloed efforts. Interagency coordination has been limited in part due to the highly classified nature of some details. But why would those details be highly classified if they had no idea what those weapons were, right? Oh, Cuba hit those people and we're going to be investigating it. The CIA and the Pentagon have no idea. But hey, there's some classified stuff we can't talk about. Know everything about these weapons and we use them on our own people. That would be the classified nature of some of the little details, is that they actually do know exactly what was used on the Cuban embassy workers. They know exactly what was used because they use it, and they use better weapons. They have way better weapons than Cuban intelligence, because Cuban intelligence left marks in the inner ears to those Cuban embassy workers, left marks on there, left proof in their inner ears. But they don't do the weapons that the United States is using on us, on me. It doesn't leave a mark in there that like Dr. Hoffer can see. So not as advanced. They weren't as advanced. Okay, so we read that highly classified nature. Spratlin will work within the State Department, but also with counterparts in the interagency. The CIA recently set up its first ever task force to focus on the attacks on U.S. intelligence officers. CIA is doing. CIA is like contracting out to do this crap. The U.S. government has yet to name a suspected perpetrator. Asked during the hearing if they had identified who was behind them, Blinken said he was limited by what he could say in an unclassified setting. Oh, that's brilliant. Let me read that again. This is so funny. This is not funny, but it's funny. The U.S. government has yet to name a suspected perpetrator. The double-mindedness, double-tonguedness, double trouble, double bubble, toil and trouble. The U.S. government has yet to name a suspected perpetrator. Asked during the hearing if they had identified who was behind them, Blinken said he was limited by what he could say in an unclassified setting. But the short answer to your question is no. So basically he's saying, well, we're in an unclassified setting, I could tell you that we know exactly who's doing this and we're also doing it, but like, hey, we're in a classified setting right now, so short answer is no. No, we don't know anything about it, right? That's so funny. It's not funny, it's horrific. You want to watch this little thing about the guy who was hit in Moscow real quick? I do want to show y'all this first. We may come back, but I want to show y'all who Pamela Spratlin is. What some of y'all say things that are other forms of maybe with energy, we don't. Supernatural happening on YouTube. So Daniel, he's saying on but mine, I love Zeph Daniels. Zeph Daniels talks about it had to be like demonic, but dude, I've seen these people set up like it's demonic, right? They're demonic, they're spiritually wicked, but it's grounded in things that are happening, that they're doing, like the DHS fusion centers, InfraGard, the sheriff's department. You got your microwave attackers that are probably working for a contractor or a security industry specialist, right? It's grounded in real weaponry and stuff like that. But there's like real spiritual wickedness, and maybe stuff, but you got to think about the other way. There's real spiritual goodness, and not just the God of all. The God of all will not leave us without agency of our own. Like the whole Holy Spirit, right? But also angels. He has soldiers that are higher than humans, right? And they're real, like they're really real. And I think they have you can call it a technology or whatever that can kind of work on maybe give signals to human beings through the pineal gland or otherwise, and it kind of is higher science by a lot than just working with seeing energy that like our attackers would be working with, right? So I think there's a lot of good, not just in this world, but all the way up to the ever living God at the top, in the name of Jesus Christ. And so we've got a lot of good on our side. Yeah, Laurie Smith says full armor. Put on the full armor of God. So Dennis says at least Russia has investigation units about EMF, ELF. Has investigation units about EMF, ELF. Well, the United States does too. They're all playing a game, right? They're all like saying we're gonna get some task force going and stuff like that. But it's really to control the information. It's to control the information and make a narrative of where they can make a boogeyman, right? They're trying to make a boogeyman who, and I think it's going to come down to Russia. I really think it's going to come down to Russia because they're the most likely people that would have supplied the Cuban intelligence with those weapons, and they're the ones who would have probably supplied Uzbekistan with those weapons, right? Because they're a bigger country helping out smaller country with these integrated directed energy weapon systems that are probably a little bit older. They're probably a little bit older than what Russia is experimenting on its citizens, than what the United States is experimenting on its citizens. These smaller countries are probably given like weapons that they used before, right? That did leave marks and stuff. It'd be kind of well, no, because if you go to Cuba, you know, I wouldn't be hit by Cuban intelligence in Cuba. I would be hit by a contractor in the United States under an intelligence agency in Cuba, you know. So is my signal breaking up, or your signal for your attacks? Yeah, I believe that too. Lori says, Arachno, I've experienced a lot of strange things. God has protected me for some reason. Yeah, me too. I experienced that a lot. I'll put that. Let me put Jennifer says only government states have technology this advanced. Yeah, yeah. Only the military industrial complex could ever have technology this advanced. But this is the kicker, guys. And listen to this logic. If you have independent like criminals, they won't stay on somebody for 10 years. They won't sit there for 10 years and do stuff to somebody's brain and do stuff to somebody's body and work on them in their sleep. You know, maybe a year to get vengeance or something. And maybe things start out like that in some of these cases where it's like somebody who works for these programs wants vengeance, right? But then after like the first year, maybe they do some personal stuff. It's then put into this program that just goes and goes and goes, right? There's no independent rogue terrorist that would have the time or the resources to sit there for decades, right? You got to use your common sense. This has to be government. It has to be military industrial complex to. And I think the thing is that they're targeted individuals who haven't been targeted that long, maybe like a year, 2 years, and me, like when I was at the year mark, I was like, this is just some ex-army guys who have their hands on some equipment. This would never be a program. It took me 2 years to understand that this was like literally this was being done in an organized form by authority figures in our country, you know. But I get it how people are like, you know, this has to be like rogue criminal or something, maybe because it's early on for their targeting or something like that. I can see that because it happened to me. But yeah, Jennifer's right. It has to be. Yeah, I'm gonna put that up. That's very important. I mean, that's very important. It has to be, you know, to do so long of a time of this. So let's look at this lady's. Oh, man. So Andrew, what you saying about knowledge here? Andrew saying to play fair, there needs to be equality in knowledge sharing. Yeah, keep it ignorant. Hmm. Andrew says two types of education. The one governments made and have used for the last 120 years. Now there is a novel education happening at this time. They want people, they want everybody to believe in lies, right? And then they want people to think the truth is insane. Because the truth is getting more and more insane, right? They're killing people, they're poisoning people, they're FFs everywhere. So they want people to believe the lies is truth and the truth is lies. So really keeping people in ignorance, right? It's purposeful. That's very purposeful. Because all the stuff they're doing is very dangerous and dark, the truth of it, and they don't want people to know the truth. Hey, Ed. Ed says it's all about money and power. They are addicted to power, yeah. Joyce Keller says, hello, Kyle, and all the people in chat. Thanks for coming, Joyce. How you doing? How are you doing? I'm sorry, my throat's like really bad. I think it's the probiotic. It's putting a little bit of a film on my throat, but I think it's good. It's like changing my body in a good way. Yeah, Jeannie says, Kyle, this is military evil people. No doubts about it. Remember, they also look for criminals, suck people to work for them. It is all government. Yeah, yeah. I was thinking that yesterday. It's like the people they get to do gang stalking are like they're criminals. You know, criminals. People they get to do like agent provocateur stuff. They're usually people who did something really bad and they've got like blackmail, or not blackmail, but it's like, hey, you do this, you work as an informant, and we'll clean some of your record off or whatever. The system really has them by the balls, you know. There was like a comic book called Civil War by Mark Miller. He has Crohn's disease, but he's part of the system. He's part of the system. One of my favorite authors. I hate it, but Civil War was long before. I think it was long before I knew that I was targeted, and they hired these people, and there's a comic book called The Thunderbolt. So in Marvel Comics, long before they start, well, probably there was gang stalking going on then. I don't think I was gang stalked at that time, but they got the criminals, the villains of the Marvel, made it a superhero team, right? And faked the people out, making them think they were heroes, right? The Thunderbolts were really villains, but they presented them as the heroes, right? And then in Civil War, Spider-Man like wanted to do the right thing. He became the villain, right? He was chased after by villains because he he wanted to do the right thing. He wanted to help like Captain America to not go a big storyline, but anyway, Spider-Man's like running through a sewer. All these villains who were sanctioned by the government, right? Sanctioned by Shield. You know, the government and Marvel comic books are blowing him up, going after him, trying to kill him, trying to capture him, you know? So they were doing all this kind of propagandistic stuff in Marvel Comics way back when, you know, about the villains becoming the heroes, right? And that's to get people who maybe don't have morals and stuff like they're reading more Marvel Comics, and that anti-hero becomes very attractive to them, right? I hate The Sopranos. I hate, like, The Punisher's okay. It's pretty cool. It's an interesting story or whatever. But the anti-hero, you see so much stuff coming out about the anti-hero, the cynical person that will kill anybody and do whatever they have to do to help themselves get on their mission and stuff like that. The kids have been bombarded by that. I mean, there's so much propaganda and so much eugenics and so much the first-person shooter games and everything like that. They've studied it, and in World War II, right? And I heard this yesterday, and I don't know where I heard it. It was like maybe it was a Timcast or something like that. But they said that, in World War II, they had to like yell at the soldiers and cajole them to shoot, and a lot of them would run. They didn't want to shoot other people. But when you get kids that are playing first-person shooters all the time, they found that it is much more easy. It's easier for them to just shoot right away, like because they think about it a different way. They're thinking about it as this is Call of Duty, and you know how like popular Call of Duty and Modern Warfare and all that stuff. They'll get influencers to get kids to really like those first-person shooters, and they get millions of views right on YouTube. There's a reason for that. Hey, Tidy. Tidy says, "What's up, Kyle? Thanks for the stream. Thank you for coming, man. We're gonna go over. We're going over the new person the Department of State picked out. The State Department named senior official, and her name is what's her name? Let's go. Let's go to her information right here. Let's go to her information, and I can show y'all what she's done in her career. Okay, maybe we can contact her. You know what I'm saying? So I just went to the State Department, U.S. Department of State, and I just looked up Pamela Spratlin. I wonder if we can send some letters, maybe email videos, testimonies to her office. U.S. Ambassador to Uzbekistan. I think that, see, the U.S. Ambassador to Uzbekistan. Very interesting, because there was a microwave attack in Uzbekistan. Term of appointment, and so, but now she's being appointed to this, right? So the U.S. Ambassador to Uzbekistan, Pamela L. Spratlin, so this is when she was the ambassador up until now, right? She's being assigned to this. She's going to be the response team for the remote microwave attack. Pamela L. Spratlin was nominated by President Barack Obama in July 28, 2014. And confirmed by the Senate on November 20th, 2014, she was sworn in as the United States Ambassador to Uzbekistan on December 18th, 2014. A career member of the Foreign Service, Ambassador Spratlin has over 20 years of policy and leadership accomplishment across a wide variety of assignments, including her most recent position at the U.S. Ambassador to Kyrgyz Republic, the Kyrgyz Republic. Before serving as the ambassador to the Kyrgyz Republic, she was deputy chief of mission at the U.S. Embassy in Astana, Kazakhstan. Ambassador Spratlin's senior Washington assignments include her roles as Director of Western European Affairs, Director of Central Asian Affairs, Acting Deputy Assistant Secretary of Central Asia, and Special Assistant to Counselor of State Department from 2005 to 2006. Ambassador Spratlin served overseas as Consul General in Vladivostok, Russia, 2002 to 2004. Listen to this one. Listen to this. Prior to that, she served as Assistance Coordinator at the U.S. Embassy in Moscow, 2000 to 2002. So she's been in the embassy in Moscow and an ambassador to Uzbekistan, two places where there's been heavy microwave attacks, right? She was a fellow and diplomat in residence at the East-West Center in Honolulu in 2004-2005. Ambassador Spratlin served in two multilateral missions, including the U.S. mission to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, USO-ECD Paris, 1995 to 1998, and the U.S. mission to the Organization of the American States, USOAS, I don't know. Her bachelor's degree from Wellesley College, and she also holds master's degrees from the Army War College. Master's degree from the Army War College. Strategic Studies, Distance 2016. And the University of California at Berkeley. Public Policy 1981. Ambassador Spratlin has received numerous awards, including the Meritorious and Superior Honor Awards at State. Prior to joining the Foreign Service, she served for almost 9 years as the professional committee staff member in the California legislature. Ambassador Spratlin speaks Russian, French, and Spanish. Okay, so that's kind of just her background right there. She's been, she's the ambassador in Uzbekistan probably during those microwave attacks, and then she was assistance coordinator at the U.S. Embassy in Moscow, and from 2000 to 2002, which some of those people been hitting people at the embassy in Moscow for a long time. Yes, okay, yeah. Jennifer says let's call her. I think that we're gonna maybe have to call the State Department and then and find her number. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. Daily press briefings, press release, public schedule, blah blah blah. I think I think we're gonna need to start getting kind of creative here. And people like me and you guys who are just putting any information out, we need to say that we're press. Is that a lie? Like, I'm a journalist. I have a YouTube channel. I have a blah blah. I'm a journalist. I need to talk to Pamela Spratlin and do an interview. I think we need to do some creative stuff like that. I think that I'm getting to the point where I don't know how much trouble I could get into. Not doing anything violent or anything, but just being really sneaky. Like, sneaky in a not lying way. And we got to do this, and it's the right thing to do. Cyber issues. Look at this. Counterterrorism and countering violent extremism. How do you contact them? Go to current state.gov website for up-to-date, and this is archive. So this is archive content. We got to go to this for current information. I would say a good thing to do. I would say this would be a great thing to do. That we email her, we find her office, we call. If we can get in touch and talk phone, that'd be great. But I think that's going to be pretty hard to do. But we can definitely get her email. And I think what we should do is we should organize, like, do a couple paragraphs, maybe like 4 big paragraphs of a testimony of, like, my name is blah blah blah, and I have been tortured by microwaves. I've been tortured by microwaves, directed energy weapon systems, and neuroweapons for like this many years, and then kind of talk about that, and then maybe even put a video with it. Like, make a little video on your computer or camera or phone, or just your phone, make a video and attach it to that, right? So that she can see our testimonies. I think that might be a good idea. Okay, Ragnar Nixon, man, I'm sorry you're going through all that. My head really hurts. Yeah, Jennifer says, I'm sure she already knows, but we should still call. That's the thing. It's like these people know. Like, Niels Melzer knows about this. She knows about this. Jean Shaheen probably knows about this. Blinken probably knows about this. But we need to bombard their offices with testimonies and do the questionnaire for the UN. We need to get all the information from targeted individuals about what's happening to us. Like, I don't know, if you want to send stuff in without any of your personal information on it, I'm sure they'll still read it, right? So we need to get around that, or, like, I'm not even worried about that. My attackers have my information. The UN is not going to target me harder if I send in a questionnaire to the UN. It's not going to, like, put me on another list with the UN. It's not. And then this isn't, it can only help you. It can only help me. It can only help us to send in our information to, like, people who are watching over this, right? It can only protect us to put ourselves out in time. It's way better when like, I was thinking about that today. I was like, man, I get really busted up for doing these videos, right? I get really punished for it, but I was like, some of my gang stalkers, it seems like they've looked me up and they've come to these videos, and then they kind of stop gang stalking. So it seems like it's helped me in some ways and it's hurt me in other ways, but I think now is the time where it's just like, dude, you're going to get hurt worse if you're not telling anybody about anything that's going on with you. They'll be like, okay, well, they, like, if we kill them, it won't matter because nobody knows, right? I don't want to say go that far, but they are. I mean, people die from this stuff, you know. Okay, Tidy says you have to apply for a press pass. Okay. We gotta get some certified journalists. So, I mean, maybe I'll start. I mean, if I have an online, like, not a blog, but I make a web page and I write, like, daily articles or something like that, and then I can just say I'm a journalist. Hey, Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty, I haven't seen you in a while. Sleeping Beauty says, hello, Kyle, Jennifer, and everyone else. Lori Smith says, we are already on a list. Always wanted to do an FOIA. Yeah, and the State Department has those a concrete, like, definitive thing, but we think that. Let me see, what's this? This is Russia made. I guess we can watch some of this, but I'm worried about copyright, you know. Let me just show you all this. Let me just show you all this real quick. Now I'll show you all the propaganda here. Let me show you all the propaganda here. So this is from CBS this morning from 2017. Russia may be linked to Uzbekistan and Cuba sonic attacks, right? Yes, I can play it. I'll play like 15. I don't want. Oh wait. I gotta put the sound sharing. It's only 2 minutes and 35 seconds. They can't bust up my video for a 2 minute and 35 second clip, right? Right? Yeah, Lori Smith says Alex Jones yelling at Cruz in the hallway comes to mind. And he yelled at, I loved it when he yelled at, what's his name? Oh, I should remember his name. He's a Florida senator, Marco Rubio. I love that exchange. And Marco Rubio was trying to pretend like he didn't know who Alex Jones was. I thought that was hilarious. That was really funny. So let's watch this. I don't think I'll get in trouble. New details. So look, that's Dr. Hoffer right there. CBS Miami. New details on injuries stemming from sonic attacks. We might watch that. How long is that? That's 4 minutes and 43 seconds. Okay, I think we'll be safe.
Sources tell CBS News 2 more Americans have been targeted in a mysterious sonic attack overseas. One of the victims worked in the U.S. Embassy in Uzbekistan, according to a source. Similar attacks have been reported by American diplomats in Cuba. Our sources say the latest.
I'm just stopping it every 15 seconds. Yeah, Marco Rubio, Sleeping Beauty. Yeah. Hey, Joseph Wade Paulson. Joseph says, did you see the BC government Voice of Reason videos? No. BC government Voice of Reason videos. No, what are those? Wait. Joseph, you say I'm trying to help, but Kyle thinks I'm fake. I've never said that, man. I've never said you're fake. I don't think you're fake. Please don't put stuff on me, guys. Like, if I haven't, like, I don't think you're fake. I've never conversed with you in an email or anything, and I've never said that on my videos, so please don't do that to me. I'm just gonna have to weather it. Like, I'm over the target. It's just gonna happen. Like, and I just gotta go through it.
This incident suggests Russia might be involved in the attacks. CBS News Radio's Steve Dorsey broke the story in August. He's in Washington with the newest information. Steve, good morning.
Good morning. The incident in Uzbekistan.
Yeah, I just have to stop it every 15 seconds. Here we go.
Was reported in September and involves a USAID officer and his wife. A U.S. government source familiar with the matter tells CBS News the 2 Americans reported effects similar to the victims in Cuba. The husband and wife were flown out of town.
Dude, I want to say this, guys. I'm not dealing anymore with talking about fake TIs. Unless I'm showing something on, like, where you go online to become a surveillance role player or whatever, and we're looking at that concrete stuff, I probably won't be talking about it a lot. We've got this big stuff happening, and we need to kind of stop that. No, I'm not going to say that. For me, I've got to stop that and just. It's important. There are infiltrators in this community, in every truth community, and you got to do what's in your heart. But for me, I got to go up the field. They're going to be here. There's gonna be fake TIs. There's gonna be infiltrators until we get there, until we get to the finish line, and they'll fall off along the way as we get closer, because they'll be useless. If we keep going forward and we just ignore that, then it's cool, you know. It's not cool. It's not the exact way to deal with it. It's not like I know it'll work exactly like I want it to. It's just like it works better for me, you know, because you get wrapped up in that stuff. I don't think you're fake, Joseph. Okay, Joseph says commercials for scam safe by the BC government. They have a person hearing voices. They call it the voice of reason. Oh my God. I've got to see that, man. If you can send a link, we can watch it. Do you have the link, Joseph? Like, we'll watch it right now. We'll watch it on the stream.
Pakistan's capital by the State Department for evaluation, according to a source. Their current medical condition is unclear. 2 U.S. security sources say Russia may be involved in that incident and in the sonic attacks in Cuba.
The Russians have the means, the motive, and the opportunity.
Policy professor William Leogrand says Russian President Vladimir Putin has been trying to exert his nation's influence abroad.
It seems that this all began just around the same time that President Obama expelled 35 Russian diplomats because of Russia's interference in our election.
Victims of the...
But the deal is, this is the deal, it's like, yeah, Russia's probably doing stuff to Americans and, you know, giving weapons to Cuban intelligence and maybe Uzbekistan intelligence, but America's doing the same thing. America's experimenting on its citizens, and then smaller countries that it's a lot allied with, it's giving weapons to Russian diplomats and Chinese diplomats and stuff like that, which those stories are then in those countries, and it's harder for us to get to them, right? Very hypocritical. And that's why like I'm not putting all of our eggs in one basket. We're just talking about the big thing. We're gonna look at all of them and talk about all of them so this just can come out. But the UN is really integral to stopping this, because countries are going to be pointing the finger at each other, right, and trying to blame, like, America's going to try and blame Russia, China's going to try and blame America, Russia's going to try and blame somebody, right, America probably, and that only it only happened once. It's not too bad. I forgot what I was going to say. Shoot. Okay, Joseph says there's like 6 videos. Okay. Oh, Andrew said, sad to see Alex hitting the bottom. We're going to, okay, I think that would be fun, because, like, I'm really interested. Alex Jones just had an interview with some channel, some crazy YouTube channel, and he was getting he got so drunk and wasted that he could barely talk. And then on the Joe Rogan show, he was talking about his dad, and his dad is a dentist who worked for the CIA to put implants in people's teeth. He said it on the Joe Rogan show. And then on this new show, it's called Flagrant. It's called Flagrant. Flagrant something. If you just put in the word flagrant in YouTube, you will find their channel. Watch that interview with Alex Jones, where they're talking about, like, he's like, yeah, and I'm just like, you know, I'm just doing. He like talks about doing their bidding, and talks about Bohemian Grove and how he got in there because he was connected to those families. They allowed him in there. He had credentials to go into Bohemian Grove. So, I mean, Alex Jones really is an insider. He really is a gatekeeper. He really is working for the system. He really is working for the system. You know, I guess to gatekeep on people. And he's also done a very good job of saying it's the Chi-Coms, it's the Chi-Coms, it's the Chi-Coms, when the real danger is Israel. The real danger is Zionism. They're trying to fulfill ancient prophecies. Zionists are trying to fulfill ancient prophecies. They have technology, power, and global power and money to live out these prophecies, to make more immigrants come to every country, because that's in the prophecy, right? To make to make big weather that kills a lot of people, right? To do these things that are in their prophecies. And that's not exactly, it's still kind of Revelation time. It's still the prophecies are coming, but just in a kind of weird way. And hey, Nadia says, good morning, everyone. So we'll keep playing this real quick. I guess I don't have to stop it every 15 seconds.
The attacks in Cuba describe hearing a loud, high-pitched sound in unusual places, often in their homes. The Associated Press obtained this recording. 24 confirmed victims face a range.
It kind of sounds like that. I guess that's a recreation that it kind of sounds like that. More like, for me, it's like, and if they turn it up real high, the microwave hearing to my inner ears is like sizzling almost. It'll like crackle. It'll be like, it kind of like, not like that, but it gets so high that it feels like it's like just like a sizzling, whistling sound almost, intense, like causing pressure in the head.
Range of health issues, including hearing loss and mild traumatic brain damage. An American tourist staying at the Hotel Capri in 2014 suspects he too suffered a sonic attack and described the sensation.
It went from the tip of my toes, through my toes, down through the arch of my foot and up to my ankles. And I could feel a little bit in my fingertips.
When asked about the latest case in Uzbekistan, the State Department told
CBS... Did it make you tingle a little bit? Did it give you a little tingle in your body? I'm joking. Like, anybody hit with this stuff, like, I have full compassion for. But the kind of crap through, it's like having the nerves on your head feel like they're torn up on the inside. Like, I mean, like, mutilation of muscles and causing infections like in the teeth and stuff like that, nervous system pain all throughout the spine and the head, manipulation, external burning and hits to the groin that are just like terrifying, right? Stuff like that. Brutal, Yeah, Sleeping Beauty said that is a good description, Kyle. Yeah. And we got in the mainstream, they're describing it.
We ensure our personnel are examined and receive appropriate treatment. Following our report, spokeswoman tweeted, there has been no incident in Uzbekistan.
There was not an interest on the part of the U.S. government in having this go public. They don't yet.
USAID, an independent federal agency that provides...
Because the microwave attacks in Uzbekistan were covered up a lot more than the China consulate or the Cuban embassy attack. Like, people know it happened in Uzbekistan, but there haven't been any main articles writing just about that. So I wonder what happened there and why they're trying to cover that up.
Foreign assistance referred all our questions to the State Department. The Russian government has previously denied any involvement in the attacks and has even offered to assist the Cubans in their investigation. Gail?
All right, thank you very much, Steve.
There's stuff going on all over. Like, the Americans are hitting agents from Russia and China, and it's like Russia and China are hitting agents from America, and like all these Five Eye countries are using these. It's now spy games in the Cold War are done with integrated directed energy weapon systems and mind control. While they further experiment on their own people to get the edge, right? To do training, research, and development on integrated directed energy weapon systems and get an edge on those other countries. But in reality, all these countries are developing their weapon systems, and they have global strings attached for global information gathering. Even if some of the people lower down microwaving us, like in America or whatever country you are, may think it's this information is just going to give into there's going to be a global organizations that collect this data from all these countries. People who even do this don't understand that. Yeah, Jennifer Burns says exactly how brutal torture 24/7. Yeah. The only relief I get, cleansing. The probiotics have really helped, guys. Seriously, like it sturdies the brain because your stomach's so connected to your brain. It's really helped my mood and my energy levels really. And it's like sometimes if you get a little boost, like if you're being torn up by the targeting, but you get a little boost, then you can kind of like look for other defenses and things like that. So it can really help you. Let's listen to what Dr. Hoffer has to say. This is from 2 years ago. Keep in mind that a lot of targeted individuals have gone to Dr. Hoffer, for help, and he is prescribed Beats by Dre headphones, and I want to get this. I need to get this. I think this will work. This will work like those nano barrels, I think. It's really loud. Really, really loud.
An update tonight on the mysterious attacks targeting American diplomats in Cuba. There is, but not necessarily a clearer picture.
CBS News correspondent Steve Dorsey has been investigating the story from the beginning, and he has the latest from the University of Miami.
It's so, the Cuban embassy attack is so in the mainstream media that they're like, oh, we'll take care of our governmental workers, right? I don't know how they're not going to be able to keep this under wraps, that citizens are going through this, because you got the EU coalition, you got Freedom for Targeted Individuals, you got PACs, you got all these targeted that are seeing the same thing that I'm seeing, right? They're seeing the people that are going to be investigating this, and they're going to be able to send like certified letters from human rights organizations for targeted individuals, right, to these people to further legitimize that citizens are being hit with these weapons worldwide. They're not going to be able to control this narrative in any way. Like things are it's like that thing in Rocky where things just go crazy and everybody's like wrestling each other. Yeah, Dennis says try to work out. Yeah, I got to start working out. Also, and plenty of vitamins from the body flushing. I get 2-week heavy metal cleanse from Health Store along with boron. Yes, yes. With the be Scam Smart gift cards, Canada Revenue Agency. Okay. So just don't get those gift cards. Yeah, Andrew says mainstream tell the story they are told to tell. Yeah. Really, Joyce says I heard foot baths were fake. Were fake. Water changes color from chemical reaction. Maybe I'll try one and I'll see. Because I don't think they're that expensive. I really do think it sucks a lot of stuff out from the foot because the feet, I mean, we know that the feet is where all the toxins like actually come out of your body, or a lot of them do, and through your feet. So I do believe it's scientifically sound. Okay, Joseph, I will. I'll look it up. I'll check it out, man. Let's watch this real quick. Let's see.
These are the U.S. doctors that first treated and diagnosed U.S. diplomats from Cuba nearly 18 months ago. The diplomats came from the U.S. Embassy in Havana to the University of Miami complaining of noises or pressure in their ears.
Their primary complaints were of dizziness and disorientation.
Noises or pressure in their ears.
You see Dr. Hoffer's face there? He really he's a good man. Like, talking with him, he knows that this stuff is going on. He thinks it's completely insane. He thinks it's insane, and I'm telling you guys, I don't know, some of y'all might not have heard the story about it, but I asked him, and I should have wrote a bunch more stuff down. I did write some questions, ask him, and I said, is there anybody trying to work to get this stopped, right, in the where, and he didn't say anything, but he nodded his head, right, like, yeah. You know, like he really wants this to stop. Like, it's crazy. But But I don't know. I mean, he may have just been saying that to be nice or give me hope.
Their primary complaints were of dizziness and disorientation. Some of them also complained of auditory concerns or hearing concerns.
Doctors say their findings show clear evidence that at least 25 have a problem with their inner ear. The injuries were to the vestibular system that detects gravity. Doctors say this type of injury can affect the brain.
They had objective tests that showed an abnormality. And those tests cannot be faked.
When the problem
and this is what I think. This is what I think, because he looked in my ears and he said you don't have the exact damage in the inner ear that the Cuban embassy workers had, right? So what I'm thinking, this is conjecture, but I think that Russia probably gave Cuban intelligence weapons that it wasn't using anymore, right? Not the newest, not the best, not the streamlined ones that America and Russia and stuff are using to experiment, right? But like an older version that does leave a mark in the inner ear. Experimented on. I'm being experimented on. You guys are being experimented on. If we don't have marks in our inner ear, we're being experimented on with more advanced weaponry than what hit the embassy workers. I mean, check that out. That's mind blowing. That's mind blowing. Or maybe it's a different method that left a mark there. But that's what I'm telling you guys. A sure shot for any target individual where your hearing has been damaged, you got to go to Dr. Hoffer, and he can maybe write you something saying there's damage in the ear, and that is a legitimate proof that you're being targeted. Okay, I'll check it out. I don't know if I'll show it on this live stream. Yeah, Sleeping Beauty says, I hear you, Dennis K. I've been getting a lot of cramping, and I'm getting the chills all the time. Like I have a sunburn, but I don't have a sunburn. Yeah, that's a good way to explain it. And I would explain mine by like a sunburn on the inside, like around my spine, all the way up to my head. It's like a sunburn with chills, right? Yeah, because that's a good way to explain it. Because like I woke up and I kind of explain it by like fibromyalgia pain, but it's like having a sunburn on the inside, like right near my spine and kind of like out on the muscles. And then I'm like, it hurts so bad, and it's like giving me chills. Like I feel kind of feverish almost, but it's like my body's in chills because my nervous system has been so wrecked. Yeah, that's really good. Nadia says, so they were hit once and had long-term ongoing effects. Nadia, what I think is that they were hit in Cuba, right, and then they came back to America, and we know that if we, like as targeted individuals, if we go to another country, we'll still be hit too. So I don't think any of these people it stopped. If it did seem like it stopped, they were probably still hooked into them doing like remote neural monitoring. So I think they continue to be targeted. That's what I think, but I'm not sure. So for some of them, like they may have been hit in Cuba, and then when they came here, the attacks did stop. But I think certain agents, maybe the guy from Moscow, he says he still has headaches. He says he still has ringing in the ears and things like that. So I think some of these agents, it never stopped. Whoever did it to them, like in Russia or China or whatever, stayed hooked in, just like they stay hooked on to us, right? But I think some of them actually, did get out of it. And that's the thing, like Nadia, I think that some of these people, because at the beginning of my the beginning of my overt targeting, I thought I was getting away from it, right? Like they would target me in my apartment, then I'd go to my parents' house, and then the ring in the ears would be sporadic. It'd come on and then it'd lower and everything. And what I thought, I was like, okay, I'm getting away from it, but I'm having effects. My body's still having effects of this, of getting hit, the high-pitched sound and everything like that. So I think that that's what a lot of these agency workers or, ambassadors or Cuban embassy workers, I think that they're like, oh, well, it's causing these symptoms to keep occurring, but they're still being targeted, right? And then some of them, they may have stopped being targeted. It's a mess. Some of them are still being targeted. Some of them maybe not still being targeted, right? That's kind of what I think. Yeah, Andrew says truth telling is against community standards. We still got to do it. You know, it's going to come back around. The truth and being a good person is going to come back in style very soon. When all these people having so much fun with Satanism see the world just being destroyed, you know, you're going to have more people going, whoa, hold on, this is going to destroy me too. And they're going to change, you know, hopefully. I guess evil people will never change. Is it, Joseph, is it in their head? Is that scam safe thing, is it like V2K in their head, or it's like a fake telemarketer? Really? Okay, let's check if I can get it here. We'll check it out. Can I click on the link here? Wait, let me go. Alright, I'm gonna get that link. We'll watch it, Joseph. I'm gonna go to, where's the YouTube page? Here we go. Let me go to my channel. We'll show that real quick. Yeah, they're trying to normalize a lot of this stuff. Okay. Come on. Okay. Where is it? Where is my chat? Come up, chat. Chat. Okay, here we go. And then I can look it up. Everything's loading like really slow. Canadian Revenue Agency. Okay. Let's do that. Pull it up. Come on, computer. Come on, computer. Do your job, computer. I'm a computer. Okay, we're gonna watch this thing. I'm interested. So, oh, I see what you're saying. It's like a commercial. Okay. One minute. Let's share this. Let's see it. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to do a lot of stuff like this. It's cool. We got this new technology. We can just give you the details of where you need to go for this, just straight to your head. Where is this? Be Scam Smart. Gift cards, 15 seconds. So let me share the audio of this. I'm gonna wait for a second for it to load up just to make sure y'all can see it. Okay, let me watch it, Paul. I mean, I hate it. Like, this isn't something. It's not funny, you know. But it is. It's going to be something where they're going to make consumer products where people can think something, and then it'll go into somebody's head, or there'll be fun games where you can talk right into somebody's head. They're going to do that kind of stuff, you know. Let's see.
So the government wants me to pay with gift cards?
It's a scam, Margaret.
Who's that?
It's your voice of reason. Hang up. Listen to your voice of reason before you act.
You can go now.
Canada.ca/BeScamSmart can help.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that's a... what do y'all think? What do you guys think? Your voice of reason, like, I mean, that's like she's hearing it up there. I don't know if that was a purposeful making fun of V2K. I think that made that... You know, maybe just a commercial doing that. I guess so. I guess they could be making fun of V2K, but I don't know. I kind of see that it's just a. I mean, let's watch it again. Let's watch it again. I don't know. I mean, yeah, probably so. Probably they are making fun of V2K, but there's a lot of bigger, evidence. Those kind of things, we wouldn't be able to convince people, that that's what they're doing. I did want to show y'all something else, but we've been going for like 2.5 hours. Where was that? Let's watch that over again. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, definitely. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I see what you're saying about it. But to me, I look at it and I'm like, oh, that's just the commercial where they're like, oh, listen to your voice of reason, and they didn't really mean for 2K. That's just what I'm seeing, but a lot of you guys might disagree with me. Maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe they are implementing, it's just like, oh, that's a voice of reason. That's good. So if anybody does get V2K, because I know a lot of people's V2K tells them stuff that may seem useful, right? A lot of people would tell me like, oh, my V2K actually tells me stuff that's right sometimes, right? They do that on purpose because then when they tell you something really wrong, you'll think that that's right too. It's a trick. Never listen to your V2K ever. They are never the voice of reason. Anything good that it looks like they may be doing for you is always a trick to hurt you later on. So never ever fight your V2K, resist, never listen to them. They are not your friends. I've even heard, well, I won't go into that, but yeah, I can see that. I can see where they're doing that. Definitely. Very subtle, if they are. I could also see that just some advertisers were just being cutesy and really know nothing about V2K. I could see both, but you might be right. Yeah, Tidy says I had mixed feelings about it. Me too. Because they do that kind of stuff in commercials all the time, where it's like they're just trying to anthropomorphize the voice of reason, right? And it may not really have technology or getting people used to it, but it could. I'm not sure. I don't know everything. Okay, Joe says, yeah, they have like four or six videos like that with like listen to your voice of reason. It could be a very, very subtle kind of like propaganda campaign or conditioning campaign to get people like used to it. It could, yeah, it definitely could, Tidy says I started putting cotton in my ears when I walk around outside. It helps. 5G is a saturation signal. Yeah, it like has to saturate to the inner ear. So, like microwaves go from 1 millimeter to 1 meter. Like so, microwaves, the frequency width goes from 1 millimeter to 1 meter. And I think when you get closer to like 4G, it's like in the many, like half a meter, fourth of a meter, and I don't know, but 5G is like millimeter waves, right? They're like way more intense and they're way smaller. They can hurt you a lot more. Yeah, neuromarketing. Andrew brought up the term neuromarketing, which we'll probably see a lot of. We'll probably see a lot of that in the future. Yeah, M. Tanner Canner says, does anyone get their heart raced every day? They'll do that to me through my head, through my brain a lot. Usually with me, what they're doing is they're doing vagus nerve stimulation. They're probably doing that a lot to you guys too, where through the brain they're stimulating the vagus nerve, and then they can affect the heart through the vagus nerves. They can give you like fluttering heart and stuff by sending a signal through remote neural manipulation and then getting your vagus nerve all stimulated, hurting your stomach, hurting your heart, making it hard to breathe and stuff like that. So they've got a few protocols to do that kind of stuff. Yeah, Tidy says like it surrounds you, it goes inside when I get home. Yeah. It's better outside. Like, it's better outside because you're not in an enclosed space, right? But it's still bad for me when I go out. Joyce, happy St. Patrick's Day. Y'all got y'all's green on? I'm gonna pinch you. If you don't have your green on, I get to pinch you, and you don't get to hit me in the face. But if you pinch me, I got green. I get to punch you. You just get to pinch. I don't know why I keep saying that. It's funny. Yes, yes. Okay, so Dennis says silicone earplugs help with the higher pierced frequencies TI eardrum. Okay, I need to try the silicone earplugs. And then Dennis says, and use Dave Case's CD also. It helps with the AI dampening. Yeah, Dave Case's CD just tones down the remote neural manipulation. It gets them off of your vestibular system. You saw that, right? Let's watch that again, because it's a main way they're doing this. And the eyes, guys. If I don't wear my polarized sunglasses for a while, I'll start feeling really depressed and stuff. I'll put them back on. So it's like they used to hit me in the eyes with microwaves and carve out my face, but now it's like I can't even feel it. They're using something, microwaves or photonics, and it'll just send signals. It'll hit my eyes and it'll send signals to my brain. So those polarized sunglasses or the blue block lenses. Let me show you guys this. I wanted to just show this real quick, if I can find it. Maybe I can find it. Come on, just let me find that page, and then must have been no. That one? Is that one? It's a YouTube. Darn it. Meh. Let me see. Oh yeah. Okay. I'll replace that. Hold on 1 second. Let me do this. Let me cancel this, and then I gotta go back. Cancel that, and then I want to go back to this, and I'm going to go here. Check this out. Oh man, this wasn't enough. Here we go. Hold on 1 second, guys. Oh man. Okay. I'm getting hot. Okay, I want to show y'all something real quick. This. Check this out. So this is the mother of one of the China consulate attack, who was embassy workers, consulate workers that was attacked. This is her mother, right? I don't want to show, when I show to like these kind of shows like 60 Minutes and stuff, I get copyright strike. But you see that, right? You see she's wearing blue block glasses because her and her daughter were attacked in China, and they're still experiencing symptoms when they came back, which means to me that means they're still targeted, because you're not going to get, the ring in the ears is not going to consist, like it's not going to continue. Like if they stop targeting you, the ring in the ears will stop. For people who have organic tinnitus, they can't really stop it ever. There is organic tinnitus. It's not all just this artificial. And that's what makes this so hard, because people go like, oh, there's no mental illness that exists, it's all just targeting, there's no natural tinnitus, but there's actually real mental illness and organic tinnitus from like damaging the ears and stuff, and it's all mixed in with people who are targeted and get it artificially. And I think that's hard. It's hard for human beings to deal with that, because we're this or that type of being, right? Ed says, who is St. Patrick's? I think he chased away all the snakes in Ireland. Like they gave people sticks and they killed all the snakes in Ireland. So I think that was St. Patrick's. Is that right? It's a very simplified version of history that probably isn't true. I think he killed some snakes. Yeah, I understand, Dennis. Dennis says, I hate the FN B2K. I'm sorry about the language, but it's been almost 5 years straight, 24/7. I wouldn't do this. Mine's been since 2011. So I've had V2K constant, never stopping. I've maybe de-intensified it is when I did the month regiment, the month cleansing regiment, and I was listening to Dave Case's CD, and I was doing all the passive shielding, and I got my V2K to where I couldn't understand what they were saying, and it was very, very low. But then I kind of got off of the cleansing. So if you do the cleansing very well, it can lower your V2K. Like if you just cleanse the outside of your body and the inside of your body, and like follow a lot of the protocols of look out for Charlie, you know. RFI filter, what's that? Yeah, don't get in an accident, guys. Andrew, you're right. You know, be careful if you have to drive a car anywhere. They should, they shouldn't be microwaving us anyway, but they're like I'll go out in my car driving and they're doing the V2K and like hit me in the upper spine, and then their DA people can tap into the street lights. Like that makes me sound insane, but they do. So it's busy traffic and they'll stop a light just for me, a targeted individual, to stop me. They'll stop traffic. If I'm coming out of my apartment building, they'll change a light to green down the street so that more cars come in. So it's like they're just manipulating the traffic. They're manipulating the city to screw with targeted individuals, to keep us feeling caged up, to keep us feeling watched, to condition us. Like whenever I go up to a light, even if it's green, I'm stopping because they stop a lot of lights, and it's not. It's like a total subconscious thing, you know. Let's watch the rest of that. He's a good man. Like he works for the DoD. Maybe I shouldn't even be saying that. I don't want to. Like he doesn't. He works just like to when they need him to give physical exams. That's like all he does. But it just shows me there's good people in these huge organizations. There's a lot of great people. And what we should be very excited about, this is what you should be very, very excited about if you're a target individual. And just this word, decompartmentalization. This stuff is being decompartmentalized in like every organization as we speak. And that should be very, very exciting. So where was this? But the inner ear. I like Dr. Hoffer though. I might send him an email and see if I can go see him again. He's on our side. Like I don't know what he can do and what he can't do, but he's like he really does not like that this is going on, and he really understands that it's happening to citizens. And it's just weird how he's like a good man, but it's like people are trapped in this system. You know, they're so trapped in this system, and they can be hurt. Their families could be, you know, I don't know, go into that. Because this is 2 years ago. This is 2 years ago. Remember. Let me say this, and I've said it already, but this is something for you guys to listen to. That the majority of the damage was in the inner ear. To me, what this means is that Cuban intelligence had older systems. It had older integrated directed energy weapon systems that left marks, right? And it tells me that the United States, like Russia and China, they've streamlined their systems better to not leave marks, right? Because they don't want you to be able to go to a doctor and have a mark inside of your inner ear. So it tells that the weapon systems were a little bit more crude that were used on the embassy workers compared to us. I find that very ironic that more streamlined, more advanced systems are being used on some citizens in countries than the ones that these embassy workers are being hit by like Cuban intelligence, you know. Oh, you can't, I didn't put the volume. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay, let's go back. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks for telling me. Can't believe I did that. I gotta like imprint that on my brain, you know. Dude, my memory's so I walk Pepper and I get back inside and I'm like, I gotta walk Pepper, and I'm like, no, I just walked her. Like, and it's like a feeling that I've got to walk her again. Like, the mind control is very, very scary. Like, I would never do anything like, you know, violent or anything like that. But my attackers do like subtle mind control to make me like go to the kitchen at certain times or fall asleep without my defenses on. Just completely forget what I'm doing to speed up or slow down
Cuba
time.
Nearly 18 months ago.
Like,
the diplomats came from the U.S.
here.
Embassy in Havana to the University of Miami complaining of noises or pressure in their ears.
Their primary complaints were of dizziness and disorientation. Some of them also complained of auditory concerns or hearing concerns.
Doctors say their findings show clear evidence that at least 25 have a problem with their inner ear. The injuries were to the vestibular system that detects gravity. Doctors say this type of injury can affect the brain.
They had objective tests that showed an abnormality. And those tests cannot be faked.
When the problems were first reported, U.S. officials suggested the Cuban government was engaging in some kind of auditory attack. The Cuban government has denied any wrongdoing. Doctors here at the University of Miami say they don't know how those injuries occurred, but that they're highly suspicious and worth further study.
When this many people present with this amount of disability, it's hard to imagine that this just arises by chance in all of these individuals.
Yeah, duh.
Attorney Mark Zaid represents 8 of the patients.
They do want answers. It has been 2 years. We still don't know anything publicly.
So this is
some of his clients.
So this is Mark Zaid. He's the person representing the Cuban embassy workers. And somebody was suggesting to me that, you know, I'm sure that targeted individuals have tried to get in touch with him, but maybe he would have the experience after this to represent citizen targeted individuals in a class action. I would think, right? So I don't know how we could get his help. Yeah, Sleeping View says, oftentimes normal sounds seem amplified to me and hurt my ears. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Joseph. Yeah, I'm playing it again. It's really important information.
Are still unable to work, and others are undergoing rehabilitation.
Well, Steve Dorsey is joining us live right now from the Miller School of Medicine at the University of Miami. And Steve, you talked to the doctor who led the exam. What was his most important takeaway from the report?
Yep. We sat down with him just a couple hours ago, Dr. Michael Hoffer, who leads that report, who says that he's found the inner ear to be the most traumatically injured in these 25 victims he has confirmed who suffered these bizarre sounds and pressure changes in Havana, Cuba. That caused everything from dizziness, cognitive...
So let me say this. If their inner ears were damaged, that means that they were experiencing remote neural monitoring and remote neural manipulation, which means that Cuban intelligence was in their heads, was receiving signals from their brains, and could put signals back to their brains. Let me just say that. If their vestibular systems were damaged, because that's how they do through our vestibular system, the eyes and the ears. They do it through cranial nerves and straight to the brain, but the very intense stuff, through the ears. It can still do stuff through the eyes, but the part that they're using the most is that inner ear, and it's causing that biorelevant feedback loop. Dave Case figured this out years ago, right? And he made that CD. And then we got the noise canceling hearing aids. You need to get Dave Case's CD and the noise canceling hearing aids. You see this. The inner ear was the biggest part damaged. It's the biggest part they use signals to and from the brain. They do it other ways too, and we got to block those. But you'll be a big percentage better if you're putting a cancellation signal to your inner ear, and it's cutting into that biorelevant feedback loop from the vestibular system to the brain to the nervous system, right?
Disorders,
it's so
ear
important.
pain,
The most
hearing
important
loss,
thing,
a
because
constellation
you can get
of
on your
injuries
feet.
that's still baffling researchers, scientists, and the
Baffling all of these experts. No one yet will definitively say what caused the injuries to the diplomats. Do you think we'll ever really find out for sure?
Yes.
Yeah, it's tough to know. Right now, there's another investigation going on at the
This is
State
2 years
Department.
ago.
There's also,
It's
of
interesting.
course, will likely be more scientists and doctors taking a closer look at this case. What, however, the scientists here at the University of Miami have ruled out is mass hysteria, that they imagine these symptoms. They say they believe something did happen to them. They were injured, and it could have been caused by something bizarre.
In our lying society, in our deceitful, lying, cover-up society, like, that's the best they got. Like, well, we ruled out that they were imagining it. Like, that, we're certain of that. Like, you don't even say that. Like, you get a bunch of people who are experiencing ringing in the ears and headaches and stuff like that. There should never even be that mass hysteria on the table. But in our lying, deceitful society, it's like, well, we found out something important, that they're not imagining the stuff. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That should never even have come up.
Like a directed...
Like, for us, for targeted individuals they're talking about, like, mental illness should have never come up. When you're talking about, like, something that can be proven with DHS fusion centers, can be proven from the contractors, sending out contracts for human research and everything like that, should never have been brought up. Just cover up
energy
stuff.
weapon of sorts. Something like microwaves, electromagnetic pulses, or even ultrasound could be to blame.
Steve, Cuba again denied involvement, and Cuba has also complained that U.S. doctors will not cooperate with their doctors in getting to the bottom of this. And there are also theories that maybe another country may be somehow involved in this. What theories are you hearing?
Well, absolutely. That is a major issue between the U.S. and Cuba right now, with Cuba saying that doctors haven't been forthright with their own investigators trying to get to the bottom of this case going on in Havana, including at least a Canadian diplomat who was evacuated from the country just last month for similar symptoms. Now, of course, we've been hearing about similar situations going on in China, where at least one U.S. diplomatic employee at a post in Guangzhou was confirmed to have similar symptoms. And
It's just, they're using it everywhere. There's no way that it can be covered up anymore.
Something like this happened in China, across the world, and also in Cuba. Is that a coincidence?
Well, it could be related. The State Department hasn't definitively concluded that, but I tell you, I talked to that lawyer who you saw in that piece, and he raised serious concerns that these folks that he's representing in China and in Cuba are concerned that this could be going on around the world. And in fact, it could be spanning decades.
Yep.
Steve, I know you've been on top of the story since the very beginning. Thank you very much for joining us tonight from the University of Miami.
So we just see a cover-up, you know, you just see the cover-up trying to slow it down. There was no cooperation about this from U.S. intelligence agencies. U.S. intelligence agencies were very mum on it, you know, because they're using it on citizens. So they have to keep it quiet, you know. Joseph says, my doctor is telling me that all the people that believe it are delusional, and that I've been pot for 6 years, voice in the air. I don't believe my doctor. Yeah, don't believe your doctor. And that's what your doctors are just paid to say, right, and conditioned to say that, oh, yeah, everybody that's experienced this is mentally ill or whatever, but those times are changing. Those times are gone, right? And I'm going to be pushing on new neurologists and things like that and see where they are now, you know. Yeah, hey, Marcus, and hey, Charles. Charles says the only ones doing this are our government. Yeah. I wouldn't say government, guys. I'd say military-industrial complex, because the government, a lot of the people in our government are very in the dark about this. They're doing compartmentalized things. DHS fusion centers are doing the harassment. Yeah, you can just say government. You can just say government. You know, I guess it simplifies it. But to me, the people doing the worst stuff and the brains of this are the military-industrial complex, which is more of a corporation. The military has become a corporation, a business of killing, right? And the government's kind of very weak compared to a huge military-industrial complex that works for global powers, right? You know. Yeah, Charles Hall says people on the streets do not have this tech, even fire departments. I do think that some, like the sheriff's department and some law enforcement, are given ground weapons to use, and they do use them. They do use them on citizens who are already targeted remotely. I do believe, because that's happened to me. Like a K9 unit hit me in the leg so hard that I fell down when I was running, but I was being remotely attacked by microwaves too. And it was during a time when they wanted me to think that everything was ground weapons. So it was very important for them to get that K9 unit sheriff to hit me with it. He was in a totally tinted out sheriff SUV, and I think he was hitting me from the back of that SUV, because it was very important for my attackers to keep that thought in my mind that, like, it's people with ground weapons following me around, right? So they have that capability, and they use it supplementally, especially if they want to keep this protocol of, like, everything is ground weapons, right? And that's when for years I thought that everything was ground weapons, that it wasn't. For years, for like 3 years, I think, or two or 3 years. Joseph says, what if they are bribing people by telling them they are innocent until they talk about V2K, then they are guilty? So like blackmail. I don't know. I don't know how they would approach targeted individuals. I guess maybe if they remote neural monitored a targeted individual and knew for sure that they wouldn't just try and use whatever they told them against them, then maybe they would contact a targeted individual. But for me, I don't know, because they see in my head, right? And they see that if they ever approached me and gave me any information, I would throw it back in their face and put it out, right? I would never talk to them seriously about, like, oh, well, I'll cooperate with you. There's no cooperating with this system and having anything good come out. You can buy time. You could buy some, and as a targeted individual, I don't even think it's possible. But people who are not targeted individuals, they work with the system to buy a little bit of time for their families, but it's going to come to them too. So there's no real use in cooperating with the system. Like, any good person must fight the system, you know, because it's so evil. Yeah, I understand, Joseph. Yeah, we got to do that, man. You got to throw out some speculation. But we've got to be responsible with our and you are. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, on a whole, let's all be responsible about our speculation, and let's say that it's speculation before we do that, right? I think and this is not about you, Joseph. You're doing it exactly right. But I see some targeted individuals. Targeted individuals are very adamant, and they have a lot of really good strengths. A lot of them are very adamant, and when they know something, they know it, and nobody's going to tell. And so we have a lot of that, where it's like, well, this has definitely happened, this has definitely happened, this has definitely happened, but it is kind of speculation, and maybe the target individual doesn't understand that, you know. I'm not saying anything bad. Because this stuff we've all got to figure it out, but we need to be a little bit more responsible. Get the concrete data, speculate so we can kind of start heading that way, but always in our speculation say we need more concrete evidence to back this stuff up, right? Because my attacker's doing so much crazy stuff with remote neural manipulation. I could tell you guys, but it's like, man, even some of y'all would be like, is Kyle just kind of losing his mind there? You know, we just need more concrete data. Nicholas says they are pinging my left ear so hard right now, they won't leave it alone, making my inner left ear twitch, ducking annoying. Yeah. My attackers are hitting me right on the temple right now, and it creates this pain all here, and it's hard to think. My head doesn't feel right, so I got pressure inside my head, and they hit it. It could be an electromagnetic field around here, and it puts pressure on the side of my head. It's really bad. Charles Hall says it's best just to refer to them as Mr. Macintosh. It's basically just blockchain talking to us. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys think it's just like, completely AI. But I mean, I have experiences where it's like human operators like putting visuals in my head and like saying stuff. Like I'm gonna make this a priority. In my if I say it, my attackers are gonna. I'm gonna try and get something that they say where y'all you could be like, yeah, there are human operators there. I'm gonna try and because there really are on mine. But I get what you're saying. There's so much automation. I probably have like 96% automation, right? 96% AI is doing this stuff, but my human operators set up that automated stuff, right? And then the AI keeps it going, and then like 4% of like the V2K and stuff is like interjection from human operators. Maybe 10%. I've heard about that a lot. Tidy says, has anyone heard of the black goo? It's an ancient liquid metal. They find it in asteroids and in the pyramids. I bet if we got that and put it in a cap, we could block this out. Maybe I could just get that black goo, and it would just make a suit for me, and then I would be Venom. No, I've heard a lot of serious stuff about that black goo, and there's a scientist that's really smart about Morgellons, and he talks about it in a very legitimate way, and I can't remember his name, but he was at Bases. If you go to the Bases, presentations, he's a skinny guy. He's skinny, and I think he's like Scandinavian because he has a hard time speaking English, but he's a genius on Morgellons, nanotechnology, other things besides nanotechnology, and he talks about the black goo, and it's for real. Like, it's for real. Yeah, Jennifer says, Kyle, I get the crazy mind manipulation that no one would believe. Yeah, sometimes I'm like talking on my videos, and I'm like, yeah, they're saying this on the V2K, and then interjecting this visual at the same time, and it's like, it makes me look like I'm dangerous, and it's too crazy to believe, even for some targeted individuals. That's why I'm kind of like trying to, like, I want to say some stuff to give some specific examples, but when I'm like, oh, that kind of, I kind of don't want to go there on some of it. Yeah, Nicholas says it seems to be mostly automated by AI, but the operators can interject whenever they feel and direct the AI. Yeah, that's kind of how I think of it. That's how I've experienced it, is human operated. But specific, right? This is specific to me. Like, I have human operators that are doing brain to computer interface, and the woman and the guy both have a hive mind, but they are not. His thoughts aren't going to her thoughts. Both of their brains are just going to my brain, right? So it's not like they're reading each other's thoughts or anything. It's all input to the computer, and then both of their minds can be doing stuff in my mind. So like the guy will sometimes do very not helpful things and insults and stuff, but then I'll get something, like I'll forget something, and then it'll pop into my head, and I think it's the woman on there, or maybe the AI, but there's a helpful part of it that wants to appear to be helping me, right? The good cop, bad cop thing. I really do think sometimes it's like for real with one of these human operators. They're like, we've been doing this too long. This is psycho. This is not honorable. Like, they think that they were supposed to be going after really bad people, but I'm not sure. The psyops are so thick that I can't say for sure either way. But sometimes it seems like there's somebody on the human operating team that like is really like, I'm going to go ahead and help them out right now. This is getting too sick, and they'll just throw me a bone every once in a while. I don't know though. Yeah, Andrew says sucking the life out of us, definitely. Okay, we're at like 3 hours and 15 minutes, guys. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and end this live stream, but we'll be doing some more stuff. It's what, Wednesday today. A lot of people. I'm not even finished with information that people have been sending me, so we'll definitely do some more. Maybe tomorrow. I'm gonna play it cool because my attackers beat the hell out of me, and so I'm gonna kind of try and spread it out where I can make it work, right? But I'm feeling better from the probiotics, the infection gone, and stuff like that, in my tooth. So we're definitely going to be doing stuff. M. Tanner Cranmer says, they have been keeping my heart rate well above my natural resting rate of 60 per minute for maybe 3 months now. Sometimes they make it pound too hard every day, and so much tear, also heart pain daily. Now, M. Tanner, do you use Dave Case's CD? Because they would squeeze my heart, right? They would do the heart attack thing all the time. But when I started using Dave Case's CD religiously, use that thing religiously as much as you can when you first start using it, I didn't have as much of a problem there. They'll cause me to have anxiety, or they'll hit me in the chest now. But before Dave Case's CD, it would feel like somebody's hand was squeezing my heart, and I'd fall down on the ground. I'd have near-death experiences from so much pressure to my heart. But then I started using that CD, and I've been using it since like 2015 or 2016, and it still works. They've gotten past it a little bit on some of the mind stuff, right? Some of the mind tricks and interjections of visuals and stuff, but the body stuff, the making me have to pee, and the heart stuff, and some of that stuff, it's like they've never really gotten past Dave Case's CD on that. So please try that. If you're not using Dave Case CD and you're dealing with like heart attack symptoms, like they're really going after you, please try Dave Case CD, antitinnitusv2k.com. He knew about the vestibular system like long before anybody else was talking about it, long before James Giordano came out and started talking about it, long before Dr. Hoffer. Dave Case many years ago was saying they're using your vestibular system to create this biorelevant feedback loop. He's a genius. His CD is genius. I hope he comes up with something, even better. But he came up with the miracle thing, and he knew about the vestibular system and how they used it. He didn't. He was talking about it before anybody else was talking about it. Dave Case is the first human being, the first to talk about the vestibular system out in the open and how they're using it. I think I can pretty much. I think that's true. I literally think that what I just is the first human being who I heard talking about how the targeting used the vestibular system. And then I concretely researched it with what James Giordano was saying, what Dr. Hoffer was saying, and everything, cross-referenced it, right, with all these geniuses who knew about that. But Dave Case was like the first human being that I know to be publicly talking about the vestibular system. Even Robert Duncan, unless it's in Robert Duncan's books, I've never heard Robert Duncan even talk about that method, because Robert Duncan may have not been able to talk about that method, right? He may have gotten into a lot of trouble talking about that. Yeah, Charles Hall says, yeah, Dave Case CD does work, and they can maybe get past it a little bit. Everybody needs to be using that. If you have remote neural manipulation, you need to be putting that thing on all the time. And if you put some headgear on or something with it, it works a lot better. Please stack these things up. Please look at my playlist, guys, for defense. They're long live streams, and maybe I should edit some stuff, and I'll get to that. But I'm biting off a lot more than I can chew, as always. I'll get stuff done, but I've got to kind of I go, I'm going to do all this stuff, and then it's like, oh, I can't cover all this ground, so I've got to kind of find my areas where we can move forward with this stuff, Yeah, Dennis said they targeted Case over the patent, and he had a computer that ran on light, and that's, I think, where he got in trouble, because the government had already created it. And so, he created it independently, right? He created it independently. He wasn't stealing anything. He created a computer that runs on light. And I think that's when they started targeting him. But then what he did is he said, oh, these are frequencies. I'm going to measure a lot about like using the same frequencies but not harmfully to go inside to hit the inner ear and to interfere with the frequencies that they were sending. Really just genius guy, and a man of God too, a genius inventor and a man of God. A miracle, and we're getting more miracles. We're getting more miracles coming up. All this big stuff going on is a huge miracle. No matter what you think of these organizations looking into this, and I'm like CIA and Pentagon looking into this, that's BS. They're going to try and cover everything up and make a narrative. It's still moving forward for us. We knew this. We know our system's corrupt, so we know till the very end they're going to try and stall and cover things up and look like they're taking care of things, but we can push it along. We can quicken this stuff. We can. It's for sure. For sure it's coming out. Let's choose when. Sooner. Sooner. Okay, James Nielsen said, Bill Binney mentioned directed energy weapons on RT News. It happens in about 17 minutes in. Can you put the link in the chat, James? Or is it just the newest thing? If you just go to RT on YouTube, it's probably like one of the most recent videos. We can look that up real quick. Let's look that up real quick. I'll look that up real quick. We can do that. Let's see. And I kind of 30. Let's see. Okay, RT Bill Binney. Bill Binney is awesome. I knew he was targeted, like before he even said he was targeted. Finding things from like 4 years ago, so here we go. No, that's on RT. Nothing recent. He's been on RT a lot, y'all. Okay, so they had crosstalk a year ago on RT. Let me just show y'all this. Why don't I just pull up this page real quick? What's this? Just pull up. Let me show y'all this page, and you can just see everywhere that Bill Binney's been talking about surveillance, and probably directed energy weapons too. I can't find the most recent one. Did you put it in the thing? Let me go back. Okay, that's it right there. Let me go to my page. Let me go to my page real quick and then pull it up. Let me stop sharing the screen here, and we'll pull that. We'll watch that. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I want to see that. So I'm going to go grab it. I guess I need to have a window open for my channel, so if y'all put any links in, I can grab those. Okay. It takes so long to load. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So let's go to this. Okay, Marcus says, raise up, quit. V2K sent me psychologically into trouble since 2011. Yeah, man, my overt targeting's been since 2011 too. I think 2011 was a big year for pulling in targets. 2014 was a big year. 2018 was a huge year. Probably every year they more target individuals, so not one year was like specifically yeah. James Nielsen said, and moderate, he mentions it about 17 minutes in, and modern day COINTELPRO. That's the biggest hurdle for us, and it's purposeful because it's like they were hitting us with microwave weapons, and we knew that everybody targeted individual or not, at least not an agent in our group, right? we'd be able to group up and form more organizations and trust each other and work on projects and stuff like that. So they infiltrate and then done. And most people, most smart targeted individuals, a lot of targeted individuals just stay away from the community because they're so worried about infiltration and COINTELPRO. And I think that people have a hard time. It's like sometimes I'm like even, I gotta play that whole advertisement. Oh, y'all can't hear it right now. Okay, y'all can't hear this right now. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, sometimes I'm like, man, like I'm busting my butt, like arguing to make these videos and like do activism. And I'm like, man, at the end of it, there are people in the TI community. I love how stuff you put it on pause, but then it like breaks through the pause that you put it on. I'm gonna thumbs that up. Let's watch this real quick. It's not long. But I'm like, man, I'm gonna do all this stuff, and then there'll still be TIs that are like, yeah, that dude was a fake, you know. And I'm like, wow, that. But that's not. I mean, it's like a lot of people will know, and that's why I do stuff like. I mean, we got to do some of the stuff like the trust protocol. I think everybody should be doing that. Like I swear on my grandparents. I swear on my grandparents' graves, my grandmother's life, my mother and father's life, my brother's life. I swear on my nieces and nephews' life that I'm a targeted individual and I'm not like some COINTELPRO person. The thing about that is, and I think people are uncomfortable with that, but would you be uncomfortable with going, I swear on my parents' life or I swear on my children's life that the sky is blue? Think about that. Would you have a problem with saying, I swear on my parents' life or my children's life, or I swear on my grandparents' graves, I swear in the name, I promise in the name of my God, in the name of Jesus Christ, that I'm a targeted individual, and I'm not like COINTELPRO, I'm not getting paid by anybody. It's just like swearing on your parents' lives that the sky is blue. There shouldn't be a problem. It's weird, but it's like there shouldn't be a no response from it. Nobody is ever. It's scary. It's scary. Scary. Okay, so here is crosstalk purging Trumpists. Oh, it's like 24 minutes. What's the time that he says it? Can y'all give me a timestamp? Can y'all give me the timestamp, guys? Oh, crud. I guess we'll just watch some of it. We'll just watch a little bit of it and see. I'll maybe kind of try and get to that part. Wow. they have like they have technology that can see through walls and into people's brains, and they couldn't stop the Capitol riots. Yeah, right. They could find all those people. They could, get, whatever face scans from the people who were inside the building and stuff like that. But they have technology where they could have stopped it. They wanted it to happen, you know. Yep. Are you kidding me? Oh no, are you kidding me? Oh my god. Oh man. I put on audio sharing. Oh, I've been oh. Please excuse that, guys. I'm gonna get better at that because I know that's so annoying. I'm just sitting there and y'all can't hear any of it. Let's listen to it again. What he's saying is really important. Hang with me. Oh my god. And everything's so slow on my computer, I thought that I had shared the audio with it. Let's try this again. Let's try this again and listen to it. Okay, thanks guys. Yeah, Ed says, thanks Kyle for your live stream. I get hit hard right now since I followed your stream. It's like they don't like it. Yeah, it's because we're getting common sense, logic. Let's follow these lines of logic. There's real stuff happening, right? So we're not just speculating and talking about our testimonies. There's real big stuff happening, man. Oh, it was only 4 minutes, Joseph. This must not be the right one then. Let's see if I can find the right one. This is the important information. Oh man. Hate that sound thing. I just wish I could pull stuff up and it would just share the sound. But listen to what Bill Benny said here. Okay.
And for something of its magnitude, they're remarkably quiet, except for the number of investigations that they're pursuing, and the number of people that are in custody, and the number that could be. Go ahead, Bill.
Well, it's pretty, to me, it seems pretty simple. They had some evidence that this was being prepared.
Talking about the Capitol Hill riot. I mean, the Capitol riots.
In advance. And yet they did nothing to beef up security or anything to be able to deal with it as it happened. So it meant to me, very simply put, that they wanted it to happen. Why? Because that would allow them then to discredit the entire Trump campaign and start to move to try to classify them as terrorists. And that's exactly what they've been doing. And yet most of them just went through the Capitol building taking pictures like tourists.
Yeah.
The ones who were doing it were very few in number, and they were the ones leading the pack, inciting the people to do other things. And that, when you get people together in mass like that, sometimes that's an easy thing to get some people to do.
And guys, like,
seems to me that's
the clips that you want me to show, just send them to me by email, so I can show them next time. Yeah, Joyce, we had daylight. We sprung forward, so I have an extra hour every day. Okay, it's around 16 minutes 45 seconds. Okay, this is it then. Okay, let's.
We're going down the path of criminalizing dissent and criminalizing having.
And then a freaking advertisement.
You need the food bunker.
We don't need a food bunker.
You have a busy life.
Nobody needs a food bunker.
Your
Come on. Come on. Oh, I put that on Pepper's claws. I got a little bit of interference. I got a foul on the field. Can you stop? Can you just stop?
own opinion.
Here we go.
And also with this, you know, if we look at H.R. 1, we look at this investigation, we look at all of the shenanigans associated with the Russiagate hoax, it seems to me, and I'm going to make a big statement here, but I think we're going in the direction of disenfranchising tens of millions of people. What do you say, Bill? Go ahead.
Well, it's not just, I don't think it's that, Peter, but it's also, like I referred back to Nazi Special Order 48. That's the kind of thing they want to bring online and start using. And I see this coming very, very clearly from what they've been doing. You know, it's not just for just to get them out of the way or silence them or anything. It's also, you know, doing other things like using, I mean, I'm quite confident that the FBI is involved, just like they were in COINTELPRO, against silencing any kind of dissent internally in this country and using any means they have available. Mm-hmm. And that includes things like directed energy weapons. We here are, in my house, are also picking up this from using spectrum analyzing things of that. We are detecting these kinds of things being directed at us. So this is nothing new, and I'm
so credible.
These people have not stopped at anything. They'll lie in the court of law. They fabricated evidence against us, whistleblowers from NSA, and made up just outright lies about us. And
crippled
got the court to buy into it.
And they crippled.
Because what does the court know? They don't know anything except what the government tells them. They have no.
I mean, what a great. He's like a good. He wanted to make a surveillance system that didn't put a wide net so that it wouldn't screw with normal citizens. A good man, and they crippled him, and they're still hitting his family with directed energy weapons. The people that I see getting targeted are good people that want to do the right thing. This is very dangerous, like for our whole world. They're lifting up people that will do anything they want them to, right? And they want death, they want division, and people who are like, let's use our brains and our hearts and do the right things and try and fix things. Kill them. You know, it's like, kill them, kill the good people. Because that guy is one of the best men that I've ever known. Dave Case, Bill Binney, Kirk Wiebe.
They've known for years and decades, in fact, that the FBI has lied to them consistently. And yet they do nothing about it. Why? Because they're a part of it. Mm-hmm. And even we heard reports over here that Judge Roberts was telling the rest of the members of the Supreme Court not to hear the Texas and other state complaints against the disenfranchising the votes during that by having Pennsylvania and the other states stuff ballots into the box and violate their constitutions internally in the states in terms of how to handle votes. So the courts are involved in this. I mean, all parts of our government are corrupt now. Yep. They're all a part of it, and each has to cover up for the other, or they all fall.
You know, Ray. I guess the
that's the right way to say it.
I was going to say the silver lining, but
that's a good way to say it. Is like, you know, all the if one part of the government comes out, like all of it'll fall because they're all complicit in it. Like government organizations in the military-industrial complex, they've all got complicit. They're all complicit in it. Hey, keep praying says, I emailed the UN last night and asked them to add a video testimony option because anytime I try to write them, I am bombarded with no-touch torture, etc. to hinder me. Well, I'm going to fill out the questionnaire, keep praying, and then maybe it'll be easier for you guys if you see kind of what I wrote about my history of targeting and everything like that. You can probably send in a video email, you know, make a video and send it in to that main email address for the special rapporteur. I bet you they would accept it. Okay, TN says, got microwave auditory effects? Check out Kernel Flux. It will publicly release soon a helmet that picks up what they are saying to you. That sounds awesome. That sounds really awesome. Detects what's being done and said to your brain. Yeah, and that's what, there's a patent out to detect if you're getting remote neural manipulation that I'm going to go over. But that's all. How much do you, are y'all just working on like a prototype, TN? Or is it just a channel that you know of? That sounds really good. Yeah, Kirk Weeby. Yeah. Nancy, yesterday on KCRA Channel 3 News at 4 p.m., Governor Newsom said some senators want to microchip immigrants at the border. It's out. He admitted microchipping citizens. Yeah, it's been admitted that people are getting microchipped for companies, microchip. So it's been out for a while, but it like people kind of ignore it. So maybe Governor Newsom saying it in that huge way will get people paying attention. Dude, this is unprecedented territory, guys. We need to not be like, oh, well, the New World Order is coming in and they've got everything locked down. Dude, people are reacting to this stuff. There's so many good people in the world that are like, wait, what? You're microchipping people? You're torturing people 24? What? And they're not going to just sit there. It's because they had doubt about it before, but there will be no doubt what is happening because of all these other things. And you're going to see fireworks, man. You're going to see fireworks. So you guys hang in there. Kernel Flux. That Joseph says that Kernel Flux thing will change the courts forever. I bet. Kernel Flux, guys. Okay, so let's look into Kernel Flux. I still haven't looked into the other thing, Kernel Flux. The Tempest filter. I still didn't look into the Tempest filter, but the Tempest filter is for defense. Kernel Flux. I'm going to have to remember that. Kernel Flux. Okay, guys, I think that's what we wanted to hear him say. That's awesome. Somebody as credible as Bill Binney talking about this. I might just try and find a lot of where he's talked about this and kind of, we'll have a live stream about that. That's so great. Just talking about it out in the open like that. It's good. Okay, so that Kernel Flux. I want to, Kernel Flux. That sounds good. Let's put that up on the screen right there. Got microwave auditory effects? Check out Kernel Flux. It will publicly release soon a helmet that picks up what they are saying. That's huge. This is over then. Like if we can put on a helmet that picks up and it's like proof of what the V2K is saying, at the very least, they'll stop, right? At the very least, if it's picking it up, at the very least, they would stop. But at the very best, keep going with the V2K and we get evidence. And that is awesome. Tons of stuff coming out, guys. Let's check out this Kernel Flux. Okay, no problem, Nancy. I'll put that up on the screen for a little while. Yesterday on KCRA Channel 3 News at 4 p.m. Newsom said some senators want to microchip immigrants at the border. It's out. He's admitted that there is microchipping citizens. Yeah. But I think that, there's a lot that everybody's getting stuff in their body that is involuntary where they're not telling them, and that's really the big danger. Joyce says, I pray for all TIs every night. Thank you, Joyce. Okay, Nicholas says, I posted a video on Tempest Filter. Tempest Filter also has a context as a military-grade EMI suppression circuitry, which I'm familiar with. So, are they expensive? Can I just buy a Tempest Filter, or it's something you have to build into like something like the I don't even remember what it's called. ZVS driver. Okay, guys, it's almost 2. I gotta go, guys. But thank you for coming. I'll do some short videos. We'll just do as much as we can. and get the information out. And thank you so much, DePlume, for sending me that article. Please, guys, send me information by text or email, and I'll try and get to it. When I can, we'll try and do videos about it. I love you guys. Stay strong. God bless and strengthen you, give you supernatural healing, give you the peace that surpasses all human understanding. And I'll see you guys on the next one. We'll do something soon.